fan of amendments because I feel like unless we start to plug these holes, this is going to keep biting us in the behind. And
okay, so before we continue, I want to unplug everything they just said. So first of all, let's just address the fact that this is a daytime TV show hosted by a bunch of idiots. Okay, these people are obviously morons. They think they're very smart, especially this one. She's the most narcissistic of all of them. And, you know, they think they're very smart. You and I, all of us may think these people are idiots and they're raving lunatics and nobody takes them serious. It's not true, unfortunately. Lots of people take them serious. And you got to realize they're on the national airwaves. That it's ABC. There is, I essentially look at all these outlets now as government entities. So these people are spokespeople of the government. You may as well look at them that way. And they are popularizing the idea of making a constitutional amendment. I don't think they understand how that works, but they want to change the Constitution so that if you're in prison, you can't be president. And it's interesting they want to do that because they're currently trying to put their biggest political rival in prison so that he can't run for president. Now, normally you might hear this. You might be like, oh, a president shouldn't be able to run from prison. Come on, like, that's crazy. Like, if they're in prison, they shouldn't be able to. Yeah, but think about it this way. The left wants to outlaw their political opposition. So they want to basically arrest. Right now it's Trump, okay? And I'm not even going to get into the minutia of that case because really it's so early, we don't really know. I will be covering that extensively when it starts, but right now we don't really know. So I'm not going to get into that. But right now, let's just look at it as it's never happened before, okay? No, the president has never been charged and arrested with a crime of a former president. It's never happened. This is the first time. And it just happens to be a guy who they've been trying to take out literally since the day he won the election. I always try to point out to people, go back and look. The day he won the election, they start talking about impeachment. They start talking about, oh my God, he stole the election with Russia. So look, they've been trying to put him away from the beginning. Give me 1 second. Need to wet the whistle a little bit. Smoke Steve, get ready. I'm almost ready for you, bud. So, just look at it this way. It's just what I've been saying for forever. They want one-party rule in this country. Authoritarian rule. They want to get rid of political opponents, which means the Republican Party, conservatives, horrible right-wingers, everybody. They essentially want you thinking that the only good human being is one that's a member of their party. This is classic communist stuff, guys and ladies. Look at the Maoist Revolution. It's probably the clearest example. There are actually a lot of people who escaped that regime who are here in America now who are trying to warn people that it's the same things happening now. But people like Sonny hosting on The View, they are foot soldiers for this movement. And they do want to arrest and imprison everybody they don't agree with. Right now, they're saying it's Donald Trump because he's so bad. He had secret documents. He had classified documents. Okay, but we know that Biden and Hillary and all those people did too. They're always going to have a reason why that's different. So let's just go forward.
You know, it really is going to take the people saying, hey, listen, because if I can't vote when I come out of jail, why can you be president?
That's a wonderful point. I mean, and amendments are very American. You know, I mean, it's some people argue that the Constitution is not a breathing and living thing, that it's sort of stagnant. I, of course, feel differently. I feel that it's a living and breathing thing because we didn't know there would be cell phones before. We didn't know that there would be AR-15s. There should be.
It has to grow with the country.
Yeah.
So, but this, what has happened, I know this is really weird, but I've been having strange thoughts. what I think has happened for us as a nation is over the past 10 years, weird stuff has been happening in the country to show us where the problems are.
Oh, here we go. Pay special attention here. I will remind you that Jon Stewart said white people are a problem. The problem with white people. Now she's saying she's having weird thoughts. Whoopi Goldberg on The View. And these are telling her where the problems are. Okay? So you might have had some sort of like agreement with her early on. Like, oh man, the president should not be in prison and, being president. There should be some sort of block against that. Of course, that, then that just basically gives them a reason to find a reason to put all their political opponents in prison. Okay? But she's been having these weird thoughts about these problems.
The fact that we have this situation now with you-know-who is there to tell us, hey, y'all have a problem, and these kinds of things are going to start coming up because these kinds of people who are not reading the Constitution, don't know the law, don't know how this country runs.
Oh, yeah. They don't know the Constitution. They don't know the laws. They don't know how the country's run. Them, not Whoopi Goldberg or The View.
Are now starting to get in because there's some things that, we'll fight over because we have two different opinions. But there's some stuff that, as an American, you just can't do. You can't do it.
And it's
what is that stuff? Why are you so vague about it?
That's the thing. It's like we're a very young country. I mean, anybody that's watching.
All right, I'm going to stop because there's nothing she has to add to it. But my issue here is it's just what I've been saying, that they want to outlaw political opposition. The problem here is it may sound good and fluffy to some people, what they're saying, but you got to understand that they're going to paint anybody that they disagree with in these terms. So I'm going to bring in my my cohort here. Steve, you there? Steve, you there?
Hello.
Yo.
Oh, what's up, John?
What's up? How you doing, Riddle?
Hey, there I am.
Ah, there you guys are.
I apologize for intruding. I tried to.
You're not intruding. This is totally open. Anybody wants to come.
Oh, okay. Well, you're probably busy, but I messaged you to ask if I could join.
I might not have seen it. I'm not sure. Where'd you message me? Here?
I DM'd you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I didn't see it.
It's all good.
Yeah, you're.
I didn't know if you guys were gaming or not, or I didn't want to interrupt.
No, we're just talking. I just did a little intro about the fact. I always talk about how they want to outlaw political opposition, and on The View today, I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
That's just another one of those things, and you might dismiss it like it's just The View. It's some, cadre of morons talking on daytime television. But you got to start looking at the TV as government propaganda. It is, and they are representatives of that. So, like when they're out there saying that, assume that's what they want to make normal.
It's absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though? Like, what do you think about that, Steve?
Well, can we, I just want to readdress some things that you were saying.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Anything.
So you were a little bit unclear about your opinion of somebody running for president from prison, but you did sort of allude to the fact that felons shouldn't be able to run.
Well, I didn't say about felons. Felons probably shouldn't be able to run, but that's somebody that's already been charged and convicted.
Okay.
I would say, so here's the thing. So when it comes to Trump and presidents, we're in completely uncharted territory right now, right?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and it's happening in a situation where all of us predicted it. And it's such a polarized situation where we're like, I've said it a couple times. I've been saying for like 20 years that they want to start locking up their political opponents. Now they're doing it. Like, I just, a part of me is like, well, if Trump did something wrong He's not. He shouldn't be above the law, right? But then there's another part of me that's like, well, that may be true, but at the same time, it seems like all these other establishment characters are doing things the same way and getting away with it. And so there's a part of me that's like,
is it the same way?
Well, yeah,
it's unfair treatment. I mean, if you're gonna accuse, Donald Trump of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, well, first of all, yeah, for one, it's like this one guy they've been trying to get on anything they can possibly get, including introducing actual Russian disinformation and disseminating it through the country in an attempt to like torpedo his presidency. Like, how am I supposed to overlook that? You know what I mean? Like,
like Adam Schiff.
And that too. And I understand. I've heard the excuse the Republicans are giving for that, and like,
wait, what's
it's
the
hard
excuse?
Well, they're saying, oh, these are the people who took a principled stand against political targeting, and this is political targeting, which is bullshit.
What? That sounds like horseshit. What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean political? It's obvious political targeting, and Adam Schiff has been proven wrong through the Steele dossier,
right?
For all that stuff.
That's how I see it. But they're trying to say that they wouldn't want the Republicans to do this or they wouldn't want the Democrats to do this to them, so they're not going to turn the other cheek and do it.
No.
I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah, I'm sick of it because we're all playing it. It's a mental tactic to be like, oh, well, you're supposed to be the better one, right? No, we're going to fuck them over anyways. No,
they've been doing that shit to us forever. Like since I first got into Rush Limbaugh back in like the late 90s. Like, they've been doing that shit to us.
Yeah, you told me about that. That's where you started you started to see the other side.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, they've been pulling that shit since then. Like, it's the same game.
Yeah. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I agree with you guys. They are basically using like some sort of weaponization to get rid of their political opponents. I do think that's bullshit. I do think there's things that you can't say that either side is squeaky clean by any means.
Oh, for sure not. No. Agreed.
I agree.
But it would be better for me politically if there'd be more people like less on the fringes on the outside and a little closer on the middle, like a little.
But that's what we need now is people that are like mostly in the middle, like people that are the regular voter, the regular person,
Right.
Here's the problem though. Those people don't know shit about anything.
That's true. That's absolutely fucking true.
They don't know what the hell, especially these days. Like, they don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and they're afraid.
And I feel like the media and the Democrat stuff play on that, and the deep state, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. They absolutely do. And I mean, where do you go from here? It's like.
Hey, by the way, real quick, Riddle. I'm sorry to cut it. Anybody wants to jump in? I'll put a link in channel. You guys can join us. Anybody? I'm just leaving it open tonight.
Is that in the description or in the chat?
Yeah, it's gonna be in chat here in just a second. I'm gonna put.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's all good. I'd rather have more people.
Yeah, I just want to bring people in tonight.
Of course.
I gotta tell you guys, I am fucking wasted. I am tired.
Did you just smoke a bowl or what?
Oh, I'm smoking a bowl. That's not why I'm not wasted like that. I'm just wasted from kids.
Oh,
my voice. My voice. It's hard for me to talk. I'm like, because I've been yelling at kids all day. I'm just.
Oh, dude, you just had the twins, right?
I didn't have twins. I just had a newborn, but like my other three are ravenous and they're always fighting. So I have to constantly yell at them. Stop fighting. Go outside. Play in the swing. Stop doing that. You go to your room. You go to timeout. Blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like all day.
Yeah, I hear. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But
so like, I need other people to talk. Give me a little rest. My throat literally hurts from talking.
I got you. No worries.
But I have to do this stream anyway. Because, it's just
Wait, are you going to stream?
Yeah, we're live streaming.
Oh, you're live streaming now?
Yeah, I'm live streaming. You're live, dude.
Oh well, hello world. Hey.
Yeah.
This is
Hello,
on
13. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not even looking at how many people are watching. I don't even know.
Wait, so you're on a. Oh God, I forgot that you did that.
There's 80 people watching.
Talk.
There's 80 people.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Hello, the 40 that are actual people and the rest that are
Right.
watching or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, do you agree with the fact that he did have classified documents?
Yeah, he probably did, but here's my thing about Trump. He probably did, but I don't think there was like nefarious purpose. I think this guy is just a goofball. He's like the real life. He's like the real life King Ralph. You remember that movie King Ralph? He's like the real life King Ralph. And I think that he had documents that were pertaining to him. I really think this is something that all the ex-presidents have taken part in, but they're choosing to throw the book at Trump and hold him to standards they have held other. We're not, but this is why I don't want to. This is why I didn't want to talk about the specifics of that, because it's so early. We don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know much. But apparently, what it seems like, anyways, should I say allegedly, is that he did actually cover his bases, covered his ass, and well, apparently they just wanted to say that because he's Donald Trump, you know. Like he actually had it secured. He didn't leave it in a garage like what's his name did allegedly.
Oh yeah, Biden. So Biden, yeah, he had a bunch. So
like
this is the issue. Yeah. This comes to the crux, Steve. Like maybe Trump did do something he wasn't supposed to. Okay, but why did they choose? Maybe, but like they're by prosecuting it, they're saying there was nefarious, ominous. There must have been some serious, ominous reasons, intent behind this that they felt was worth charging, right?
Yeah.
Right, Steve? But at the same time, right, but
it's definitely a slippery slope because they do admit that they all have had them. I guess it's the way that he handled them, and he was deceitful about it possibly, and he didn't return them as quickly as he may. I don't know. Like
you think he was? You think Trump was?
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
Here's the thing. It's like, think about. Let me put this all out to you and think about it in this term. You all remember high school, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody remembers high school, junior high, whatever, elementary even. You all remember there was always an in crowd, and then if you weren't in the in crowd, you were the other, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Trump is the other in Washington. Okay. Do you really think that these other former presidents haven't done everything that Trump has done? Trump did it because he knew the other ones did it. And then, like, these communications that are supposedly so damning to Trump, when you read them in that context, like a regular King Ralph guy who's now in presidency but knows that like all the other presidents are getting away with these things, and then he asks his lawyer, can we do what these other presidents have done and get away with it? He asked him that. Like that's I can't remember the exact wording of the recording, but that's what they think they've so got him on. But I'm like looking at it like, no, he's asking them like, they've done this. Can I do it? You know what I mean? Like, just like we would. Like, any of us might ask that question. And they're trying to be like, oh, it's just like every single other thing they've gone after Trump for. The whole Russian collusion thing was all based on shit like this. You know? It's like, I'm really scared for our country. And it's not because of Trump. It's because these people who are dead set on carrying out their agenda because they think they're going to save everything. Yeah. They think they're going to save the earth and save democracy.
It's straight up Marxism disguised as being nice and virtuous wokeism, basically.
Yeah. And actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but did you have something that you want to say, Steve?
Oh, I'm just chatting with old Mill over here in the sidebar.
Oh, are you? Okay. I saw Let me find it real quick. I came across this CCP survivor woman who's like an activist here in America now.
CCP. Oh, now you're talking.
Well, it's because you mentioned that, and it's like, you're right. And let me find her post. Let me see if I can find it. It's so weird. I liked it and I retweeted it, I thought, but I can't find it.
Something I said?
No. It's the CCP survivor. I'm trying to find it now on Twitter. She made a post about how the woke movement, and especially the LGBT flag and all the stuff associated with that, remind her of when she was growing up in Maoist-controlled China after the Maoist Revolution, and how when she would go around in public, she had to carry this little book around, a little red book. And the book was a Mao Zedong book. And when you carried it, it showed like your allegiance to that movement. And if you didn't do that, they would come after you with the mob, and they'd be like, why aren't you sufficiently showing your allegiance? And I feel like we're living through something very, very similar to that. And she does too. And that's why I wanted to show you, because she's like, this all feels very familiar to me. I'm trying to find it right now. I will find it. Give me just 1 second. You guys.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I need you guys to talk, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you? Okay. Smoke Steve.
I'm just gonna be out in the open. This is why I need you guys on here with me to help me, so I can take little breaks.
Questions? No problem. Questions by chat. I'm willing to try to answer too.
In chat.
What was he talking about right there? I got into reading chat and I went into zombie mode.
Smoke Steve, we're living through a mouse revolution, and that's something I've believed for a while now. And there's
for sure.
Right, and there's several CCP survivors, including Weiwei, and this woman who I'm trying to find right now. She was just posting earlier today about how things she experienced growing up in Maoist CCP-controlled China reminds her of things happening here in America right now.
Yeah, Nil's correct. Like, that's what I was trying to say before, because, I'm not sure if I'm being picked up here. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, I'm looking at the green. Sorry,
we got you.
Oh, it's just lag. My bad. Okay, yeah. So Nil was saying, Trump had it, or it was already locked up. He was in communication with, I forget the name of the organization. There's a separate one. Not separate, but like it's still part of the government. But he had everything locked up properly. He was following the procedure, and then all of a sudden the FBI does all this stuff and comes in and I don't know, breaks their own lock that they ordered to have it done. And then all of a sudden now he's negligent because it wasn't locked up.
Is that true? It was actually their lock.
Oh, wait, hold on. Allegedly, I gotta say allegedly. Don't want to get anyone in trouble here.
So then, you can't confirm that it was an FBI lock.
That's apparently what was happening. Comes in and I'm sorry. No, it was a lock that the FBI told him to do. He just locked it up, right? And we're not talking about like a little switch lock or like a little dial lock or whatever. It's actually legitimately put into place, right? The seal has been broken.
I was reading that as another way. I'm like, do I need to pee right now?
I probably did too.
Greta Van Fleet? I can't see the name on that.
Point is, Nil had a point though. It was he did legitimately lock it up, and apparently the FBI came and kind of destroyed that lock, or whatever the hell it was, whatever the procedure was.
Well, I mean, I'm not doubting it. There were 2 CCP agents at Mar-a-Lago.
The FBI doesn't make or approve locks. That's not what I said.
What are you responding to the chat?
Yeah, the chat. I'm sorry, not you. My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Steve.
That's okay. I was just talking about the 2 Chinese nationals who were caught at Mar-a-Lago with cash and hard drives and all kinds of other different things. That was a couple of years. I guess it was it during Trump's presidency or shortly after? I can't remember, but I mean, they were given prison time.
Why don't you guys come on camera, by the way? Come on camera so people have something to look at here. If you
turned over to the
come on, join me. Join me.
on camera. Oh,
come on, give him something to look at. A little eye candy. Hey, can I ask you guys about something? Hold on. We're gonna get liberal cluck in here. Hold on.
oh God, here we go. Well, here we go. Let's ask him about China.
1 second.
He can hate Trump all he wants, but does he know about China? Or is China just a stigma for being a Trump supporter?
Okay, so I've invited liberal cluck. Hopefully, we get some debate in here. But I wanted to show you guys this real quick. I found what I was talking about.
Okay.
So here we go. Her name is I don't know how you say it. Z Van Fleet.
Who?
Her name is Z Van Fleet. She's Chinese by birth, American by choice, survivor of Mao's Cultural Revolution, defender of liberty. And she says, this is an old photo where I wore Mao's badge and held his little red book to demonstrate that Mao was our master and he had my absolute loyalty. Yes, I had to be the property of the CCP and fodder for the government. And she was responding to Elon Musk's post that our kids are not fodder for the government. He was responding to the White House's recent videos saying that these are our kids, not somebody else's kids. They're our kids. I don't know if you guys saw those videos. Did you guys see those?
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, where do we start?
So essentially, the LGBT plus Q movement, which when we talk about this, I don't personally mean, gay people or trans people or what any of those people per se. When I hear LGBT, I think almost like just like I would the IRA or ISIS or any of these other acronym groups. Okay, LGBT Q plus whatever that's constantly changing. It's a cult. It's a political organization. It's a militia, whatever the hell I want to, that's what I think it is. And they want control of kids. And it's very much like the CCP. They definitely, I've been seeing these mainstream media articles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
let me show one.
Agree or not.
Let me show one here real quick.
They don't actually help who they support. That's usually how it goes.
NBC's been posting these articles about, here we go. 1 second.
Sure, Facebook.
Yeah, about supposed anti-LGBT.
What's up, Cluck?
Oh yeah, here it is. They're talking about these drag queens who are saying they can't practice their art form because of these anti-LGBT, policies going on. But the policies are about performing for kids. Oh, here we go. I got it. Here we go. So drag performers tell Stephanie Rule all they want is basic respect as a growing number of anti-LGBT drag bills threaten their art form and livelihoods. Okay, that's so right. What we're talking about here, and I have it up on screen right now, what we're talking about here are laws that are about adult men performing their sexual fetish for children. That's the laws. They can't do it. And what you're seeing now, I hate to put it up there. I really do. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. But it's a...
I remember this one.
It's a 13-year-old boy and dressed like a hooker.
Oh, my God.
Surrounded by gay men at a gay bar at an event sponsored by a gay sex app. He's dancing for these guys, flashing them over and over in his little mini skirt. He's a 13-year-old boy, okay? And there's even a point here. You'll see it if you watch. He actually scrapes by one of these guys like nuts right there, and the guy gets really excited about it. Look at that. He even grabs his nuts. And he's like, "Ooh, he touched my nuts!" He gets really excilike. Look at that. It's so fucking nuts.
Oh, that
dude.
right there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Wait, hold on. You probably saw it.
It's very subtle. It's very subtle.
Yeah. I'm like so fucking disgusted by this, but I feel like it's got to be seen. You got to see it to understand what the fuck is going on right now. It's messed up.
God.
It is messed up. So When they talk about drag shows for kids, when they talk about drag shows like they're harmless, they're not. Okay, and this is just
it's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
I apologize. Pardon my language, but damn.
So, but if you're not for that, then being for that, the pride flag, that's that little book she's carrying right there.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I turned that off, but my point was that like.
Oh, my bad. It's
right. My point is that like you have to be for that, or that's that little book she's carrying right there.
Yeah.
You know, and even her herself. This guy says, "I'm sorry, but you are now free," and she's like, "Good question, are we?" Because and I've seen other stuff she's posted. You know, and even a Weiwei. Let me show you that. 1 second.
Make punches in the face great. Yeah, well, apparently that is a thing. It's called sucker punching or the knockout game. It's done by the wrong people. Oh.
Can I make it back? All right. I don't know.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Sorry.
Hey, I'll be back. 1 sec. I'll be right back, guys.
I'm just trying to get a clip up here real quick, but go ahead.
In defense of some gay people, especially some that I happen to know.
I'm fine with gay people. I already said that.
They
totally
don't
cool
want to be in a crew of people dancing with a child like that.
Right. I know they don't.
At home,
I know they don't.
Having a drink, watching a movie, just like you and I, dude. Maybe,
No, I'm with you.
Smoke. Most of them are just like every fucking other person, just like us. Nothing else separates them from you or I. I think that this group that you're showing is a small, concentrated, abrasive, extremely abrasive crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is absolutely making a lot more people than themselves look bad by association. And I think that sucks. Because there's a lot of people that aren't like that are of that persuasion. Certainly.
Absolutely. And I was saying earlier that, you know, I'm totally cool with gay people. Folks don't understand how many gay people and trans and all that stuff, all those different identities are not with the LGBT movement. The LGBT movement plus whatever, that itself is almost like you can look at it just like look at every other political acronym group in the world. They are part of that. The IRA, you know, the SSA, the ISIS, whatever it may be. Like I feel like I'm not mentioning those to compare them to ISIS. That's just what I can come up with off the top of my head. But there's, you know, tons of different political groups with acronym names. LGBT is part of that. And not every gay person.
You couldn't have named a more different crew of groups right there than what you just named.
Right. Well, my point.
That's fine.
Right. Well, my point was like they're just another political acronym group. You know.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so like all gay people are all so-called trans people, all, you know, non-binary, queer, whatever you want to say. They don't all sign up with that movement.
No, they definitely don't. That would be like assigning. It's kind of ridiculous to just label everybody as one thing like that. I think there's so many that, it's nuts that video you just showed is extremely disturbing, and whoever that underage person's parents are should be questioned.
That kid
fucking immediately, dude.
Yeah, that kid has been celebrated and interviewed on all the major networks. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. It's one of those things. It's one of those examples where I'm like, I know I'm on the right side of this. It's like I am. That makes me sure that I am on the right side and they are the bad guys. That's one of those videos where I hate to show it, but it's
just bizarre.
People can see it. And it's shocking. And the fact when you look at Twitter or you watch TV, the news organizations, when they talk about opposition to drag events and stuff, they never show that, do they? They never will in a million years. Hey, I want to welcome real quick, Liberal Clock. Thanks, buddy, for coming. I was hoping you would show up. Are you there? Oh, he might be AFK right now. Anyway.
No, I'm here. I'm toggling between talking to my niece, because her and I are playing Minecraft together.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh, nice.
And you guys.
Nice, man. I'm glad you're doing that. I play with my my daughter plays it constantly. She loves Minecraft. She plays on Switch.
Damn it.
Mostly with my kids, I play Fortnite though. I love Fortnite.
Makes
such
sense.
a great game.
A little more wholesome than Call of
we
Duty. Right?
we play as a family, and we are the 4 rattlesnakes.
Oh, is that like a oh man? Oh, it's...
We do that. We all go.
You know what? That's adorable.
It is. It's fun.
It's corny, but it's adorable.
No, I know it is. And she wants to live stream so bad. My oldest daughter, she's got a little station over here in front of mine, and we're gonna do something. I'm putting together something. I think she would be. I have a feeling she's gonna catch on. She's just the cutest, like smartest, funniest little thing ever, and she, you know what I mean. Like, but I don't really want to put her on camera. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like come up with something. I don't know. We're gonna do something with it, but yeah, I'll tell you all about that when it happens.
Cool.
I don't want to put her on the internet, but she so badly wants to do something.
Like of all the years you've spent on the internet, and I know. From
exactly
Live Leak and before,
exactly.
You know what this cesspool has to offer.
No, I know, but I came out fine, right? I came out of it fine.
Yeah.
I feel better for it.
Well, I don't know, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Yeah,
it's actually really scary how many views a little kid will get for doing like the most mundane things.
Well, she's just gonna play Minecraft and Fortnite.
That's true. It's kind of creepy though. Like
it is.
Totally.
It is creepy.
Like that's a good point. Like
that's why I'm hesitant. I'm like I don't.
Yeah, like
I feel like a bad dad if I let her do it. Yeah, so here's the thing. So her and I, we made a couple little videos on my gaming channel, which I don't do much with these days. It's from the old back in the day. But we did a Rust video where her and I played, and we did trap bases, and those are my most heavily viewed videos on there. They're big views. And I'm like, yeah, I have a feeling if she did a channel, it would catch on. But I don't want her necessarily to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm torn. I'm just torn. I'm like, because I know there's a bit of a scare factor in all this. That's not real.
The thing about it is that yes, there are going to be people who are unfortunately watching them for the wrong reasons. However, are you going to really let that ruin whatever experience your daughter could have with streaming?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna let her do it for sure. Like I think she could do something. She's funny. She's smart. She's creative and entertaining. She's only 8 years old, but she's very. You know what I mean? Like I want to give her a chance at it. I want to let her try it. She wants to.
Hold on, I gotta go watch my thing.
You better be there though. You better.
No, I will totally. Exactly. No. I already told her. I already told her if we do it, I will be there. Playing with her. Well, what happened?
Oh no, Cluck.
He'll come back.
Cluck?
He'll come back.
Yeah,
there's that little kid who like sells toys at Walmart and stuff, and he must have made like $300 million on YouTube, man. He's like 9, and he sells like, well, not him, but his, it's like an egg full of like slime and all kinds of weird shit that you can buy at YouTube and not at YouTube, at Walmart. And are you familiar with this kid?
Which kid?
He's got a YouTube channel that gets like hundreds of millions of views.
All right.
It's unbelievable, dude.
No, I'm not seeing it. You guys are going to get on camera? We're probably going to get some dicks on camera. I'm almost sure we're going to.
Yeah, so that's why
I just left it open. We're gonna get some butt. We're gonna get some butt fucking or something.
I mean, I'm already figuratively a dick, so that's enough, right?
Here's the dick for you.
Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. It's a slightly shaved dick. Look at that.
There's Steve. There you are.
I'm glad you're here, Steve. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Why don't you cowards come on? Come on, Cluck. Anyway, I do want to kind of double back just because the topic of the stream is the view calls for ending democracy. I don't know how many of you guys saw that clip.
I'm a coward because they don't want to see my face on the internet. That's crazy.
Well, I just want to kind of circle back on this and talk about the fact that like this is just another kind of chip against democracy, actual democracy. We're not a democracy, we're a republic or whatever, right? But you know what I'm saying. They are the actual threat to that, and they're doing exactly what I've always predicted they would do. Like they're just saying like, oh, we have to shut down. Like in the clip I showed, Whoopi Goldberg starts out by saying we should amend the Constitution to keep people from being in jail from being president, and then by the end of it, they're saying like, everybody, like they mentioned DeSantis and other people, and they're like, these people are, and they mentioned Major Taylor, I can't say her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all these people, Josh Hawley, and they're like, they're horrible people. They shouldn't be in there. We need a way to deal with these problems. So like they started out with that, and that's where they ended up in the clip. And I'm just telling you, that's what they want to do. They just want to. I think most of us understand this now, but like they literally want to just like cast themselves as the standard, and anybody opposing that as such big threats that they should be imprisoned, outlawed, and maybe even worse. Probably worse.
Who's this Hoobastank Tuberville guy who's like going against all the fucking EOD spending? What's your thoughts on him?
EOD spending? What? ESG?
Tuberville?
I don't.
Tommy?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Wait, so do you disagree with the idea that an amendment to disallow people who are in jail from running for president? Like, do you disagree with that concept?
Well, let me explain why. In this particular instance, I'd be at least very skeptical of it, as you should be, because no president has ever been charged, first of all. And then the first president that's charged is this one president who they've been trying to, like, do away with since literally the day he was first elected. And so that should be, and the fact that they're going after him for things that we know for a fact Joe Biden is guilty of, Hillary Clinton is guilty of, Mike Pence is guilty of, Obama is guilty of.
Like all sides. Without all of that, like ignoring all these other things that it's we can argue about. Right. But on the principle itself, do you believe that people who are in jail should be able to run for president? Like people who are in jail for felonies is what he's
it's an interesting thing, but it's an interesting question. Yeah. Well, which I would normally obviously most of us would be like, no. Yeah, but like the people asking the question are people who obviously want to get rid of their political opponents by law if possible. So
I don't personally see a reason for such an amendment, to be honest.
Right. Normally, like, there's never been a reason for it, right?
Yeah.
Why is it suddenly there's a need for it?
Well, here's the thing. I honestly do not care if somebody is being indicted or whatever and run for president or is even in jail. But I also believe that people who are in jail should be able to vote, which is something that I think that you probably also disagree with, right?
Not necessarily.
Voting is more of an impact than them running, because I don't think anybody's really going to win the presidency if they're in jail. Like that's probably an optics, negative for them.
Well, maybe, but like
if they can vote, they can still influence.
Let's go one at a time, please.
Okay.
Certainly a test for that.
I just have a question of that.
Go for it, Riddle.
But, real quick, one thing is Trump wouldn't be able to vote for himself, but he could become president. That doesn't really, if he's in prison, he can't.
For a felony.
Right. Potentially.
Okay. Can I?
But there's obvious implication. Yeah, go ahead, Riddle.
Well, I just think that it should probably be based on the type of crime that it is.
Agreed, but the implications of charging a former president, so and a political opponent of the guy. So the fact that Trump is the main political opponent of the guy currently in charge, who is in office under dubious circumstances that at this point are pretty valid. You know, like there's a lot of pretty valid circumstances that he's illegitimate.
Oh,
that's how is this country supposed to remain united under those circumstances? Cluck, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that not having entire media apparatuses lying about like things like the 2020 election being stolen, or
what about the 2016 election? Do you think that was bad that the media lied about that being stolen?
Well, I don't think that the media was saying that like voting machines were rigged, or
they were at the beginning. At the beginning, they were.
No,
Nancy Pelosi said it was hacked.
Okay, so there was two voting precincts that were actually hacked in 2016.
So you are agreeing now. You are agreeing.
Wait. No. This is a fact. There was two voting precincts in 2016 that were actually hacked. Nothing really came of it, but that was a thing. Was that what she was talking about?
Pelosi said the election was hacked.
Okay. I mean, I don't know the quote. I don't know what she was referring to.
Can I read it to you?
You want to read the quote? You have it in front of you?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. What did she say?
She said, I lied. I don't have it in front of me. 1 second. I'm getting it. 1 second. I'm getting it. I know for a fact she said it. 1 second.
You guys are funny.
Hold on. I got
Source.
it.
I made it.
Why is this so hard to find? This is such a... Hold on.
All right. So I see one that says hijacked. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
our
she
election
said
was hijacked. There's no question. Congress has.
Did she say hijacked? Okay, hijacked.
Maybe.
Hijacked. What'd she say? Read it again. Read it.
Our election was hijacked. There's no question. Congress. Hold on. There's no question. Congress has a duty to protect our democracy. Follow the facts.
Sorry,
I have no idea.
I think that might be it.
Okay.
I thought it was. I thought for sure she said hacked though.
Let me see what the replies say, because maybe they could simply be talking about like.
But I can't find it, so it was hijacked. You're right. She did say hijacked. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. I remember it as hacked.
Saying hacked.
But she knows still, but you know what? She knows what she's doing. Our election was hijacked. Like, what does that mean? It's suggestive and also
means
plausible. Leaves room for plausible deniability. You know what I mean?
Yep. Pretty much.
So basically, all politicians speak.
But she wasn't. But we shouldn't get stuck on this one tweet because we went through 4 years of the media claiming it was
stuck on it because that was a very big part of your spew.
Well, no, my spew. It was not a big part. It's just one part. Like the big part of my spew is that the media went along with fucking Democrat bullshit for 4 years.
And what happened when the investigation happened and it came out that there was no proof of collusion with Russia and Trump? What did the media do?
They continued claiming that there was.
No, they did not. They reported.
They still do to this day. They still do.
No, they do not.
They do.
That is no.
That's actually they actually do. They still do that.
They say that Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
Yeah, that's all still mainstream media narrative. Yep.
People still believe that shit.
Adam Schiff.
Let me show you.
He's the perfect example.
But yeah, so the Republicans just voted. Let's just get this out of the way. Republicans ended up blocking censure of Schiff. The argument out there that I've seen is that they were turning the other cheek and proving that, upholding the standard rather, that you should not do this. You know, that's bullshit. We obviously have tons of infiltrators in the Republican Party. You know, so anyway.
Well, also
Schiff did lie.
To your credit, Dronetek, even if the media isn't still on the whole Trump-Russia hoax, the fact that they were for many years means that most Democratic voters now still believe it.
Right, they do, and the polls show that. And the polls of the 2016 election, I believe it was like 67% of Democrats believed it was not legitimate. In fact, and you can find those polls after every lost Democrat election, around the same number.
real quick, when people say that Russia interfered with the election, do you think that they're saying that Trump and Russia colluded to interfere with the election, or do you think they're simply talking about the things that have been proven to be true, such as the social media campaign and the
No, that's
hacking
not true. That hasn't been proven true. It's been proven false.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Hold on. Liberal Cluck he's hanging with a big guy here. He's not totally up to date. He's got to find out that now that it turns out the Russian social media thing turned out to be bunk. Go ahead and find that out real quick, Cluck.
All of it was fucking bunk.
This is what happens, Cluck, when you hang with the big boys.
Okay, so what is your
all of it?
Senate report? Russia used. I mean, I'm seeing a bunch of stuff that's saying it was true, but this was
no, it's not true. No, look up Russia social media Trump election. You're gonna find they found it had no, which is interesting because I was asking that question at the very beginning. Like, okay, you're saying that Russia interfered in the election. To what extent? Tell me how many votes they changed.
I got one from 2021. The headline: Intelligence report: Russia tried to help Trump in 2020.
Do it. 1 second.
Did this?
I'll get it. 1 second. I'll get it for you.
Okay, yeah, please. Cause I don't know which report you're talking about.
I mean, if some idiots are willing to believe them, I mean, come on. But it was all lies. It was all bullshit.
Wait, so Russia didn't deploy social media campaigns.
Here's the thing. Well, they did it against both sides. I mean, there were like these are things we were pointing out at the time. Like there were Russia's funded anti-Trump rallies and pro-Trump rallies.
Okay.
In fact, famously, Russia funded a particular anti-Trump rally that the media really pumped up. MSNBC and CNN really pumped up this particular rally that ended up being funded by Russia. Did you know about that?
Okay. Well, right now, I don't even.
Did you know about that?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
No, answer that question. Did you know about that? You won't answer it. Okay.
Dronetek, real quick. You are giving me another factoid that I'm supposed to look up when you haven't even provided evidence of your first one.
Yeah, I'm getting it. 1 second.
Okay.
I'm doing it right now. I for some reason.
Because Pelosi didn't say that the election was hacked. That has been proven to be false. So now I can't find evidence of this other claim that you're making. So why am I going to jump from that to this other claim that you're making?
All right, I'm getting it right now. Okay. Here, I got it right now. I just got it, finally. I don't know why. You got to word it just right because Google tries to fucking hide it. They just do. You got to word it just right or else fucking Google will hide that shit.
Or else scroll through 15 pages.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking bullshit. Like we're living in the fucking Soviet Union in this country. Hold on. I'm putting in the main chat, Cluck. It's in the main chat. Do you see it from the Intercept? There it is. There's more, actually. It's not just that one.
Well, this guy's drinking Bud Light. What's going on here?
Just the headline. Just from the headline. Those Russian Twitter bots didn't do shit in 2016, says a new study. Okay, so this isn't saying...
Here's a Washington Post. Washington Post. Hold on. Here you go.
No, I'm not even...
Washington Post.
Wait, I'm not even saying that the source it's bad. I don't mind that you use the Intercept. What I am saying is that this article, just from reading the headline, does not say what you're claiming it says.
Washington Post. Russian trolls had little influence in 2016.
Yeah. So look, I'm not arguing the influence of what the Russians did. What I am arguing is that they did run a social media campaign. Whether or not it influenced the election, I've always thought that was a dumb point. I've always disagreed with that. But what I am saying is that when people say that Russia interfered with the election, they are talking about real things that happened. Now, whether or not it had an impact, that is probably not the case. It's probably not true that it had a big impact. But at least they are talking about real things that happened, unlike what Trump is talking about when he says...
Can I just ask you one question?
Okay.
I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. I hate to cut you off, but like, do you think it's odd how when Biden got elected, suddenly they were saying it was the most perfect election ever and all that? You don't think that was weird?
No, I do not, because
Are you serious? That was the weirdest shit ever. I felt like I was watching Twilight Zone.
Fuck, I'm getting killed. Hold on a second.
Good.
So, the reason why I don't think it's odd is because we had one of the candidates who was making bombastic claims about voting machines being rigged, and people stuffing ballot boxes. Listen,
Go ahead.
Bombastic claims about voting machines being rigged, people stuffing ballot boxes with fake ballots, and which led to this election being one of the most audited, one of the most gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? I'll just go with audit. One of the most looked at elections ever in the history of America, and they found no evidence that any of that stuff that he claimed happened.
First of all, I just want to ask you, like, just throw all that out the window. Don't you think it's weird at all that, like, for one side the evidence is always damning, and for the other side it's always there's something reason that's different? You don't think that's weird?
Are you talking about the way the media covers these things?
Well, just everything, like, just not just as one thing, but like everything. Everything you're saying is like you can apply this to like everything when it comes down to like Republicans versus the Democrats and the media. Like everything you're saying is like just exactly what always happens. There's this list of reasons, of details why it's completely different. You don't see that? You don't think it's weird or question it at all?
I think that there's definitely a bias in that.
It's more than just a bias, dude. Like they are literally trying to
everything I just said. Like you had to throw all of that out because you could not come up with a reason why it was wrong.
Why? What was wrong?
Everything I just said, the whole spew that I made when I was talking about.
What was the point of that?
What was the point of that?
Summarize
you asked
it.
You asked me, do I think it's weird that that this election is being called the most perfect election?
Right.
No, I do not, because it is the most combed over election. We went over this election and how it was conducted with a fine-tooth comb, and they found nothing.
No,
so yeah,
let me tell you something. The people stop. You're just telling me that the people investigated themselves and found they did nothing wrong. Let me tell you something, Cluck. Before this election happened, I said multiple times, 100 times, that when they won the next election, they would say it was totally fine. It was totally perfect. And then they did that. Like, do you think I'm psychic? They just, like, that's just how it's going to go. Like, the only legitimate election is one that they win. And not only is it legitimate, but it's super legitimate.
Are you making the claim that the investigations were fraudulent?
Yes, it's all bullshit.
Okay, I mean, you have no proof for that claim, right?
Well, maybe. They might. I'm not necessarily saying the election was bullshit. I'm not saying the election itself was like rigged. I'm saying that the media, the government, the Democrats, they rigged it by suppressing like legitimate news stories, legitimate news organizations, and stories that could hurt Biden. Then they manipulated the election in his favor and suppressing people and opinions they didn't like, which they would continue to be doing if Elon had not taken over Twitter.
So those were not the claims that Trump was making. He might have been making those claims in addition to saying he might have been making those claims in addition to saying things like there was ballot stuffing, there was voting machines that were rigged.
Yeah, I'm not in any of that. I'm not in any of that. Yeah, I'm not. Okay. I'm not making any of those claims.
Okay, so you understand how that is incredibly different than when you say, okay, so what you said about Twitter, and the media suppressing negative stories to Biden, I can give you that. And it kind of proves my point. If you were to say the election was rigged because of that, and you have, the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing as your example, then I can't really argue that. I can say I don't think that specific thing was election rigging, but I can't argue with the fact of the matter that you're bringing up, where the laptop story was suppressed on social media for
right. Well, how can you not call that election rigging though? Like that was happening in the heat of the election.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that is an okay statement compared to they were stuffing the ballots. And
right. I never made that. Yeah. I never said that.
Okay. Now let's take that logic and apply it to somebody who may say Russia interfered with the election. Well, they did run a social media campaign, right? They did hack the DNC servers and leak all those emails, right? They did hack voting precincts.
Let me ask you about
right?
that. Can I ask you about that real quick? Why is that a bad thing for the American people to see the corruption between media and the Democrats?
Think it is.
Do you remember? Do you remember what was leaked? Do you remember what was leaked?
I don't think it. I don't think it
All right,
is.
we'll come back.
Like
we'll come back to this.
Are hacked. But what I am saying
back to
is
that.
that the claim that Russia interfered with the election, if you are talking about those specific factoids and you're coming to the conclusion they interfered with election because of those very true factoids, then that is a much more legitimate claim than the 2020 election was stolen because of ballot stuffing and voting machines, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, Riddle, it's good to see you, by the way, buddy. I've never seen you, man. This is like
it's been...
It's the first time ever.
You never actually seen me off.
I've never seen you. I've never seen you that I can think of.
Well, now you have it.
You kind of look like the CEO to Noble Gold. You look like I thought you were for a minute. I'm like, did he just sneak in here? I'm like, no, it's real.
I'm sneaking. I've been here forever, just watching your channel so I can sponsor you.
That's cool, man. I'm glad you're here. Anyway, but Cluck, wait, what point was I gonna bring up with you again?
I don't know.
Damn it, I forgot. Okay. Anyway, let's move on then. I wanted to bring up a point with you. You hit on something there. What was it?
The DNC emails?
Oh, thank you. Yes. The DNC emails. Like the Democrats and the media love to bring up that hack. But do you remember what was exposed in that hack?
I don't.
Nobody does. Nobody does, which is by design, by the way.
No, I have a feeling you're about to spew a bunch of stuff that when we actually go look into it, it's not really true.
No, it is true. I'm not gonna spew a bunch of stuff, but basically, it just the big thing that it exposed was coordination between the Democrat Party, specifically Hillary Clinton, and the media, members of the media.
No.
Which we already knew was going on. We already knew. It's funny because before that hack happened, there was something called the Journo list. You guys ever heard of that? I'm going to give you some. See, this is what makes me elite, all right? I know all this stuff, although it's old shit that nobody cares about anymore. But there was this thing called the Journo list, and it was a forum where members of the media were all kind of secretly meeting up on and coordinating on talking points about. And somebody released a bunch of posts from that, and it was all like, we're going to take the Republicans out. We're going to coordinate against them. We're protecting Obama. You know, it was all this kind of stuff. And it went down after that. But it's just another one of those things people don't know about and they've forgotten about because it went down the memory hole because the media doesn't...
There's those videos where you can tell that like a lot of those cable news organizations were given like talking points from the same people because they would say the same things over and over.
Right. Yeah, that's right. It's nothing new, but I'm just saying like the left, the Democrat media, definitely they're always coordinating. They're always working together and it's towards an agenda. Like our media, you cannot trust it. We do not have our country's in real trouble because we do not have a free press anymore. We do not have one.
Well, we have a press that's beholden to capitalism, which
no.
Yes,
listen to yourself. We have a press that's beholden to capitalism.
Yes, they
listen
have
to yourself.
Money, which has forced them to pick sides. We have relatively unbiased cable news network and PBS. Have you ever watched PBS NewsHour?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm very familiar with it, and it's not
the
unbiased.
Least biased news organization.
Tell me the conservative. Who's the conservative on PBS NewsHour?
There's no conservative versus liberal in there.
No, they're all liberals. They're all liberals. The host of PBS NewsHour, the hosts are all fucking prolific liberals. What are you talking about, dude?
And MSNBC, at least they used to. I don't know if they still do. I haven't watched cable news in a long time. But MSNBC used to have people that they would say, "Oh, these are our conservative correspondents. These are our conservative hosts." But like it still had a very liberal slant. I don't think that the number of hosts that are conservative or number of hosts that are liberal is necessarily indicative of a bias. What would be indicative of a bias is the way in which they cover stories.
Right. And can you tell me a story can you show me a mainstream media story where The Democrat is a bad guy. Hold on, listen to me. Really okay, all right, I'll narrow it down for you then. Show me a mainstream PBS story where the Democrat is a bad guy and the Republican is a good guy.
They don't run stories like that.
It does not exist. Right.
They don't run stories
right.
like
You're
that.
right. You're correct. All the stories they run are Democrat good guy, Republican bad guy.
So from what I've seen of PBS NewsHour, and these are the clips that are on YouTube, I've watched a few episodes, and from what I have seen, they're just sort of fact. They just tell you what happened. They don't have like a spin on the story. At least from what I've seen. Maybe there is, because I don't sit here and, like I said, I don't watch cable news at all.
So I'm just going to go down a list here. Predictable, PBS. Hillary Clinton's case is completely different. PBS compares hormones for 8-year-olds to treatment for ear pain. PBS, sickening. This is all NewsHour. PBS, sickening GOP calls Trump indictment selective prosecution. Newsbusters podcast. PBS, NPR, VOA provide.
What was that last one?
PBS says sickening GOP calls Trump indictment selective prosecution. They call the GOP sickening.
What are you looking at right now?
I'm just going down. I follow several news watchdogs that cover PBS.
Okay.
Capehart admits Democrats chomping at the bit to run against Trump. PBS. Well, I can get into tons of PBS. Holy shit, I'm not ready for this, but 1 second. Oh yeah, here we go.
Wait,
here. Washington Post. Hold on. Washington Post columnist on PBS says Musk ended an era of objectivity on Twitter.
Do you have a news organization that's like completely unbiased? And...
No,
okay,
they don't exist.
Okay.
Well, I would say the Intercept comes close. The Intercept's pretty damn good. I would say they, as far as I'm concerned, come the closest.
What is that? What is the Intercept? I've never heard of that.
Really? You should. Andy No used to be part of it. Glenn Greenwald, I believe, used to be part of it.
Well, I know of those people.
Yeah, he might still be part of it. It's very like left-winger person who is open-minded and understands there are other. It's like me. Like I've always seen myself as like a left-winger who's open to everything. But
I think we've all been there.
Right.
About Glenn Greenwald's Kanan is asking the same question at the same time as me. He's definitely, you just said left winger. I feel like he's maybe kind of in some logic in his thoughts. Do you agree?
Right. Yeah, he's. I don't even want to call him left winger. I just feel like there's those of us that are just common sense, normal folks. We're not necessarily left. We're not necessarily right. We are just people who's, and we're being forced into these camps, and that's why, that is happening. Like, and then you have to ask the question, who's doing that, and then you have to look at everything from that point of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you should take heed to surveys that ask you your personal beliefs about everything.
What were you saying, Steve? I'm sorry, I cut you off though. From that, continue.
Oh, it's all right. I just had to give my lady some love. She put the daughter to bed all solo because she knew I was down here, which is very nice. Had to give her some love. Love you, babe.
By the way, I love that you're here, man. I love that I'm talking to you, not on your stream.
Cool.
But I love hanging out with you on your stream too.
Come on back sometime. You hear? You still haven't been on there live.
Yeah, no. Well, I have been, just not recently. But everybody should check out his stream. He does stream every Friday night.
A Saturday.
A Saturday night. Yeah, it's such a chill, cool stream. I love it. And if you remember LiveLeak.com, I think it's mostly people from that old site, and good group of people. So check it out.
Okay, so I got Elon Musk wants to cut your Social Security because he doesn't understand math. 10 years after my cancer diagnosis, the right's still trying to kill me. Exactly what and how Republicans hate Ilhan Omar. That one's actually probably not that biased.
What are you reading?
Intercept headlines that really show that it's got a bias because we can both do this.
You cannot show me PBS headlines that go after Democrats like this. Show me a Democrat headline that calls them sickening.
Okay, what I'm saying is that you can look at headlines and
it's not just
come
headlines.
Up with...
I just did that for time's sake. Like, I
Okay,
make a
well,
living of this, dude.
I just did that for time's sake, I guess, too.
No, I get the point you're trying to make. But I'm telling you, you cannot find PBS headlines. Try to find some anti-Democrat PBS headlines. I'll do it too. Let's do it right now.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Anti-PBS.
Well, I think you might have better luck doing NPR.
No, do PBS or NPR. I guarantee you. I would bet you money you can't find a single negative headline against Democrats on NPR or PBS.
I've heard pretty unbiased coverage of some stuff on NPR.
More than 1 million voters switched to GOP, raising alarm for Democrats.
I wouldn't call that negative. That's just so the only critical stories you will find. Hold on, listen what I'm gonna say. The only slightly critical stories you'll find against Democrats on those outlets will be from the left. They will be from why aren't you being more this way? Why aren't you doing more against the Republicans this way? It'll be that kind of criticism. It won't be oh, your policy is bad. The policy that you say is helping trans people is actually negative. You won't find that. NPR and PBS will assume that any policy from the Democrats or from the left is inherently good. There will not be any critical look at any of those policies or anything. It will frame any sort of opposition to those policies as evil or bad or whatever.
Of course.
Right. And that's largely the way it goes for most of our media. But I do feel like PBS and NPR are a special case because they're public media. So why is public media clearly going in one direction? That's fucked up. Why
NPR is obviously liberal biased. I mean, anyone who says otherwise is huffing copium, basically.
Right. Why are we paying for that? Do you think for a second the left would pay if NPR was pushing a right-leaning agenda? Do you think they'd be for that? Or would they have mass protests until that was stopped?
I think part of the reason why it's left biased is because most conservatives don't even want to fund public media anyway, so they don't end up working there. But it still is left biased.
Yeah, we're kind of fucked. I got to be honest. Ultimately, in this conversation, the right, us... I don't even want to call us the right because I don't think I'm right. I don't think I'm right wing. I never see myself that way.
I'm definitely right wing.
Maybe I am right wing, but the fact is,
doesn't matter
we don't do anything. We don't protest. We don't stand up for ourselves at all.
It's because we used to be.
Because we all have jobs.
Yeah,
we have jobs. We have kids. Even me, I used to go out and do interviews all the time. I don't anymore because I got 4 kids now. And it's what happens if I go out and I get stabbed or shot or something, which could happen. You see a lot of these guys, I usually got to go out by myself. Nobody ever wants to go out with me. So
and the best content is going to come from some place that's slightly sketchy, if not really sketchy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
I used to do it. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Knife to the liver would be bad. You don't want that. So stay home.
Yeah, I had Antifa people stalking me the last time I went out. So I'm I need people with me.
Our society is kind of weird because
I'll be right back.
People can garner more political influence by not having a family and not having a job than actually having those things. In any normal society, if someone who was jobless and childless, gave their opinion about anything, normal people would be your opinion is just useless because you have no stake in society. But in ours, it's people who have families don't want to really get involved because then they could lose everything. They could lose their job because of political struggles or whatever.
Yeah.
So
what do you think, Gluck?
About
everything we've just spoken about.
The idea that I think that the idea that people without families don't have a stake in politics is kind of ridiculous.
That's not what I said, though.
Okay, so Okay. So what you said was that people with families and jobs have a stake. So
they have more to lose. So right.
Okay.
So if I get, so I don't currently I'm between jobs and I'm young. I don't have a family. So if I get canceled, like nothing really that bad is going to happen to me. But let's say if I had a wife and kids and a steady job that I relied on for income to feed said wife and kids, if I got canceled, it would literally ruin not only my life but also the life of the people that I cared about. So
when you said political power, I was picturing something other than like
political influence. I think I said.
So when you say like what you're trying to say is that this, so I understand that people with families may not seek after political influence as much as somebody who doesn't have a family because of a fear of being canceled. Is that?
Basically, yes, but the de facto, correct. But the de facto result is that people without jobs and without families actually end up having more social political capital. Not political power in that they can get elected to office more easily. I don't think that's true. But more clout in just the general political conversation. Because they can afford to.
I mean, I don't know. I'm on the left, so I don't really think about, oh, if I do this, I might get canceled. That's not like a fear of mine.
Right. You don't have to worry about it.
No. Well, I mean, you generally don't have to worry about it when you're on the right side of history.
Well, what does that tell you?
Well, the right side of history, has the right side of history ever had to be enforced?
Yeah, by military, so that a little girl can go to school in a white school. Yes, it has had to been enforced.
Yeah, that's an interesting example. I guess that had to be with military force, actually.
I mean, I don't put much stock into the right side of history because you don't know that until it actually happens and it becomes history.
Was that? Yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting to me just on that particular subject that they're pushing for, like, segregation these days.
Yeah, let's talk about the right side of history. What about fucking, you got China and Russia. They still have their own history. It won't be taught certain things in their own history, but so who's on the right side of history?
Right. If you're in Russia, then Putin's on the right side of history until he dies and someone else comes to power.
History's written by the victor.
Rewritten.
Same with Xi Jinping. So it's the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I mean, who's on the right side of history here? It just depends on who's in power, right?
Good point.
Well, I mean, I think that there's certain morals in which at least everyone in this room can subscribe to, right?
What do you mean?
The arrogance of, yeah,
like,
that's right.
Like the idea that you shouldn't discriminate. Well, actually, Steve's in here. The idea that you shouldn't discriminate against people based on the color of their skin.
I'm not racist. What the hell?
Okay.
I don't think anybody here agrees that. What kind of a troglodyte do you have to be that people should be discriminated against based on the skin color?
Yeah,
Does anybody? Is there anybody on this planet that still believes that? Like, well,
yes, of course.
I take that back. In the civilized world, very few people.
Well, also yes,
but anyway, like I feel like that's not even a thing we should even like. There's.
Oh, you're talking about like how do we know who's on the right side of history? Well, generally speaking, we as a society have come to the conclusion that we shouldn't discriminate against people based on the color of their skin. Therefore, when we look back at history and we see people doing just that, we would generally say they are on the wrong side of history. Not because the Democrats or at the time Republicans won that war. Because we as a society came together and decided that was a bad thing to do. Therefore, people who were doing that in the past were doing a bad thing, and we're on the wrong side of history.
So I want to move on to something else here real quick. Did anybody see the man dressed as a woman who has fake breasts? Yeah, and he was flashing. He was basically indecent exposuring at the White House.
They got banned by the White House.
Right, which is insane. Like what? What? All right. Well, even the Biden White House banned this guy. So have you guys seen on CNN where they're defending him? The guy that flashed his fake tits.
Oh, they're actually trying to defend that guy?
Oh yeah. Do you want to see that?
Sure.
What's the argument there?
Can't wait for that.
I'm gonna play it right now.
All right. Awesome.
So I'm gonna go out on the limb that you expect me to go out on and say yes, but So this clearly was inappropriate. The White House is correct. However, we need to understand what this act was. For trans people, trans women, and trans men to be proud and comfortable in their bodies is an act of joy. It's an act of pride and an act of celebration.
All right, so before this guy says anything else, he just said that. So he's doing double speak. He said, on one hand, yeah, it was fine for the White House to say say this is horrible, but trans men and women have a right to feel free in their bodies and feel comfortable to do. So basically he said both things. He said, one, yeah, the White House was fine, but also trans activists are okay to do this.
That's weird.
I know, like, what the hold on, let me just play the rest of it real quick.
I'm not defending this particular action. There's a time and a place for everything. The South Lawn of the White House.
It's hilarious because he starts off, hold on, I just want to start this over. Let's just watch. He starts off saying it's wrong. Then he defends it. Then he says it's wrong again. Then he defends it again.
Drone, are we supposed to be able to see this on Discord?
You would have to see it on the stream, actually. I'll give you the link. Let me give you the link. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, because I want you guys to see this too. It's just like absurd. These fucking people, man. Shit. Hold on.
It's kind of complicated to watch it on YouTube.
Okay, real quick before we do this, I just want to bring up a point. So okay, so you keep calling them a man. I'm gonna call them a woman because that's what they prefer to be called. This woman.
Why do you want to say that to me?
Yes.
So are you in a cult? Are you in a cult? All right, let's just. All right, we can just switch to this then. Let's just switch to this.
No. Actually, I want to bring up this point. So this woman flashes their tits in front of the White House. It was a pretty big deal. You keep calling them a man. However, if they were actually a man, then them being shirtless would just be another day in America, right? We don't care when men are.
He has fake tits. He has fake tits.
But we don't care when men flash their tits.
No, men don't have tits.
Men are shirtless. It's not considered obscene in America to be shirtless unless
liberal
you're a woman.
Cluck. Well, you're in the cult, buddy. You're in the cult, my little guy.
First off, I don't want to see man tits either. That's kind of gross.
They're not real. They're fake. It's silicone. A man got silicone tits attached to his chest. What the fuck are you talking about?
Can I just clear something up? Let's put it this way. If a guy,
it's my understanding. It's my understanding, and I could be wrong.
It's my understanding that when they say that they're a woman, that they're a woman. You bigot.
It's my understanding that this particular situation, and this could be wrong because, like I said, I didn't look into this story, but I heard that I think that wasn't there trans men that were also doing the same thing as
right? There were, yeah.
And
there were
nobody made a
there were women who cut off their tits also showing, but they had no tits anymore. So who cares?
That's a good point.
It was all fucked up. It was all like taking a bad acid trip. Is the point?
It sounds grotesque. Any way you slice it.
It was like I went to a picnic and everybody started puking on each other. That's what it's like.
Oh my god.
Oh no, this is like the blueberry pie scene from Stand By Me. Boom, baba, boom, baba, boom. Right?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Cluck, did you come before I started talking about the CCP survivor and all that, the gay pride flag and all that? Did you come before or after that?
It had to be after.
Okay, yeah, I think it was after. I think I don't want to like jump. We're jumping back and forth. I don't want to jump back. Let's stay on the trans thing. We'll jump into that. I think they're connected. The trans thing is like
that's okay. We can transition the content.
Yeah, I feel like so. I just feel like the whole trans thing is all about getting people to abolish objective reality, so that the powers that be, whoever they may be, can then mold those people to whatever they want. I think that's what's going on. I don't think trans people themselves, and even when I say trans people, I hate saying that because trans people are just human beings with mental illness. Like they're not a different kind of person. They're just people with a mental illness.
Yeah, they do have mental illness.
Right. I hate saying trans people. I don't mean them any harm or any hate.
That doesn't make them bad people.
Right. I'm not saying that makes them bad people or there's anything there is something wrong with them, but like I don't think that they deserve any kind of like negative. You know what I mean? Like I think they should be protected. I'm okay with those people. And when they're adults, I'm okay with them living out their fantasy if they want. So whatever.
Let me ask a devil's advocate question here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be like the definition of mental illness in that point, right?
What would be thinking something you're not, and I hate that they're like the media's like, oh, you're just a person that's in the wrong body. They say that like nonchalantly, like that's just normal. Yeah. Like no, I'm sorry, like that's like religion at that point.
Completely unintelligible. Because you are your body. What part of you is in the wrong body?
Right.
You are your body.
You are in the body that you are in. Right. It's like, right. That's why I say it's a religion. It's like, because they believe that there's like a ghost or a spirit and it's in the wrong body. So it's like, that's like, we're getting into the metaphysical here, and that's like a religion. And, yeah.
Can I jump into a related subject that is a little more controversial, but it's also on the same subject?
Yeah, dude.
Even more controversial? All right, so let's do it.
Right. So Riddle just brought up the whole mental illness aspect of it.
Yeah.
Now, I hate to bring it up, but this trans kids thing, like what they're starting to call gender affirming surgery and things like that. Now, I've heard people say like these kids would be suicidal, which is absolutely tragic and horrendous, if they didn't get this sort of surgery.
That's bullshit.
Previously, we have all thought that a child who was suicidal would need like serious psychological help and not be giving possibly like a life-changing surgery. I mean, is that not?
To me, that seems like the opposite of what you should do.
You don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Kids, if they're suicidal,
hang on. Why don't we have? I think Cluck has some responses to that, judging by his body language.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we could start with the whole it's a mental illness thing. There is a mental illness called gender dysphoria. It's a diagnosable mental illness with certain criteria. One of those criteria is that whatever's going on with you has to have a significant negative impact on your life. It is possible to be trans and not actually have gender dysphoria because you have successfully transitioned and you are happy with your body. So it's not.
Well, there's no transitioning. First of all.
Correlated.
That's all like make believe, right? It's not a real thing. You're not transitioning into anything. You have a costume on. That doesn't mean you're transitioning. The interesting thing when you say that, Clock, when you say that, don't you realize you're saying like religious language?
One of the interesting things is that one of the things that transgender people want in life is to be treated like the gender in which they identify with. And you guys graciously did that when you gave the trans woman a lot of shit for showing their titties in public and didn't give the trans men any shit for showing their titties in public. And that's exactly how we would treat men and women.
They didn't show titties, though.
Men and women.
They cut them off. They cut off their titties.
Right? I mean, men still have titties.
What's a mastectomy? Liberal Cluck, what's a mastectomy?
A vasectomy?
A mastectomy.
A mastectomy?
Yeah.
Like the
a mastectomy.
Mammaries. Thanks for the mammaries.
Do you not think that men can have like titties? If I Google man titties right now, will I get like nothing? Or will I get
come on, man. Now you're just but you're just being dense, man. Come on. You think we can't all? You think we can't all see through what you're doing right now?
Do men not have titties?
Well, I mean,
wait, hold on.
Truth be told, I don't care about titties.
Nobody. Do you think anybody's whacking off to men titties?
Some people. I'm sure there are people that are whacking off to men titties.
Nobody wants to. Yeah, let's not think of the nothing but trouble giant babies that are whacking off the man titties.
This is the thing though, like the trans man could have like double D's, but then the trans woman might have been shaved clean down to like a man's chest. So what are you looking at?
See, I just feel like I'm getting sucked into the alternate reality delusion, schizophrenic delusion bullshit.
So it's okay for like a cis woman with no boobs? Is it okay for them to walk around shirtless?
The fact that you're even saying cis women, That's like cult. That's like cult lingo, Cluck.
To be honest,
that is cult lingo. They're just women. They're just women. When you say cis women, that's cult lingo.
Can I also? Can I add?
You're in a cult.
Can I add to the,
Go
can
for
I
it.
add to that point?
Yeah,
when it comes to the cisgender, wasn't it created by John Money, who is a known pedophile, who created experiments on children?
Yep.
So.
Fucking
is
lunatic.
That, is that defendable? Who wanted to actually categorize people as cisgender? That he created that terminology.
Okay, so
I can see cis.
Do you know who
cis.
Freud is?
Hold on. Liberal Cluck, cis sounds like a bug or a reptile or something like detestable.
Really, really fucking weird ideas also, but we still coin him the father of psychology, and we don't disown his good ideas because of the fucked up ones that he had.
You don't think he might have looked? You don't think
all of Freud?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Cluck, do you don't think he might have looked negatively at people who weren't like him, and given them a label of cis?
You're not making an argument right now.
It's like such a horrible like label. It's like totally meant to be negative.
That is a terrible thing that he did.
It sounds like reptilians gave it to us.
He created that terminology called cisgender. He created that terminology by being a known pedophile and experimenting on children. That's a known thing. How can that not be?
I don't think he created the terminology of cisgender, but he did come up with the concept of gender as separate from sex. Oh, really?
No, but he did.
He did. Yeah.
Okay.
He did. That's the actual guy.
And
so
he did,
you don't know. Well, if you don't know, now you know.
Well,
yep. Does everybody know about John Money's experiments?
Apparently not. Apparently nobody knows about that.
I've heard these arguments before, but they're just so irrelevant because John Money could be the most.
They're irrelevant.
John Money could be the most.
The fact that everything we're talking about now is based on the theories made up by an insane person.
Discovered wrong.
Irrelevant.
Dude, it's completely irrelevant. What are you talking about?
No, he could be literally Satan. He could be Hitler. He could be Hitler and Satan.
He could be Hitler,
and it doesn't make the things that he discovered wrong.
Hold on, Clock, shut up for just 1 second. He could be Hitler. He could be Hitler, and our institutions could be literally based on everything he came up with right now, and that would be meaningless.
What the hell
if they're based in a fact, yeah.
What?
If they're based in reality,
Did Hitler say anything? Did Hitler say anything based in fact, Liberal Clock?
Okay, if he discovered something real.
I'm sure.
Did Hitler discover anything real based in fact?
Yeah,
Clock.
probably.
Can you name it?
Didn't they do all kinds of horrible experiments?
I don't know. Are you trying to make an argument for your side right now?
Okay, hold on.
What?
Hold on. Give him 2 minutes straight.
I'm sorry. Go for it.
Let's give him some chance.
It's my understanding, and I don't know because I don't look into this shit, but it's my understanding that during World War II there were a lot of medical experiments done, a lot of awful medical experiments.
Yeah, but we hate
some
Nazis.
we got useful information from.
Oh.
Is that not the case?
That's true.
That's true. Okay, so those were awful people doing
awful
things to awful people, but we don't take their results and say, "Oh, these are bullshit results because these are awful people." That's exactly what you're trying to do with this John Money line of logic.
Yeah, it's funny to me though that you're comparing John Money to Nazis. That's great.
John Money's probably an awful person. I will compare him to a Nazi and not have a problem with it.
There's a difference here because those experiments that were done by like the Nazi scientists, those were hard science. You can't argue with chemistry and physics and biology. But John Money was a sociologist. He invented terms like gender. You can't objectively, do studies on that. It's a conception that he came up with, right? It's not the same thing.
Nice. I mean, yeah, you can argue that gender studies isn't as hard of a science as like chemistry and biology, and that's absolutely true. But the only thing I'm arguing with this line of logic is that saying John Money was an awful person, he came up with this, therefore this is wrong.
The reason that it's relevant that it's not a hard science is because you can't argue away a fact about nature, a certain principle of chemistry. Like you can't say, oh well, this Nazi scientist came up with this or discovered this fact about physics, so I'm just going to ignore that fact. You can't argue it away. It's real. It's hard. But you can argue with the idea of gender as a sociological construct.
Yeah, of course, you can argue against that, but not based off of the person who came up with it just being a bad person.
Yeah, but
that's a bad reason to argue.
If it's a subjective thing like the idea of gender, then the mind that invented it necessarily has a part to play in what the concept is. Like, Einstein doesn't really have, you don't have to understand Einstein to understand general relativity, but you kind of do have to understand the people who come up with sociological and other sort of soft science concepts to understand what it is.
That's not true, because there's a lot of people who don't know who John Money is, but has a pretty decent grasp of gender theory.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, but gender theory was it was cooked up like how is it any different from a cult?
It's the same. It's the same thing as a critical.
It was cooked up by a guy who's a fucking lunatic.
Can I actually compare that to something else? Okay, nobody knows a gender theory is comparable to what John Money made, right? But however, was it critical race theory is now comparable, I should say, to Marxism. It's the same shit.
Exactly. You're right.
Mass is a different way.
Well, it's all Marxism. All those theories.
Ultimately,
isn't it weird how these theories have all been thrust on us all at the same time?
Yeah,
around the same time.
Just to clarify,
what do you think about that, Cluck? Do you think that was coordinated or just random?
Clarify with Steve Preston, who actually did make a good point, was and that yes, you can argue that sociology is a soft science, therefore I'm going to question these things. That is a good argument to have. But I just don't think that it's relevant who came up with it. Argue the things that that he came up with, not the person itself.
Yeah, but your argument kind of relies on the comparison to the Nazi scientists, and I think I've demonstrated that it's not an apt comparison.
Well, yeah, and can I just remind you of one of the most famous experiments that they had? And this is one of the ones that's one of the greatest ethical questions with medical science, is that they literally dunked people and held them in frozen water, ice cube water, for a specific amount of times to see how their bodies would react, and then let them die and try to revive them. And we use that's a lot of the basis of saving people who've gone under the ice, that sort of thing. Like the Nazi experiments were important in saving lives.
Well, that's sort of exactly my point. If they discover something about the human body, like humans can survive at this temperature but not this temperature, that's an inextricable fact of nature, no matter who discovers it, and you can't just ignore it because someone you don't like discovered it. But if there's a sociological concept or some kind of analysis of human behavior or society that's subject to interpretation, the person who came up with it has more of a relevance to the concept itself than if there was a scientist that just discovered something about the natural world.
So what is it about John Money and gender theory? Like John Money's awfulness.
For example, he was a guy who believed certain things about gender and about how human society should contend with the idea of gender and sex. And he crafted his sort of concepts to serve his sort of goals for society.
Like what concepts?
It's been a while since I looked into this, but I think the test subject that's always referred to was David Reamer, I think. And at the time, Money was this doctor who performed a sex change operation on Reamer when he was an infant. And raised...
Was this the guy that the twin?
Yeah, I think so.
I know
he raised him as a girl, and he ended up killing himself later.
Yeah.
But his idea was that sex doesn't really matter, and it's all a social construct. And if you cut off an infant boy's dick and just raise him as a girl, then he'll act like a girl in all sense of the word, and he'll be completely fine with that. That ended up not being true, but the concepts of gender created and perpetuated rely on this prescription about human society that sex doesn't matter.
So is it possible?
And you know, people on the left today widely believe that, I think, that biological sex matters less than the social construct of gender, which is exactly what Money was trying to further with his so-called research.
Boom, thank you.
Yeah. So is it possible that that in trans people there is an actual physical difference with their the way their brains are
I'm
constructed?
sure it's possible, but I think it's highly doubtful that physical difference makes their brains and their psychology exactly identical to the target sex that they want to be.
Right.
Like I don't think the brain of a trans woman is exactly identical to the brain of a cis woman.
There's nothing like that out there, by the way. There is.
You're not going to look.
It
You're not
never
going
will
to look
be
at two
either.
cis women and get the exact brains either.
No, I mean I think if you let's say if you could average the brains of all cis women on Earth.
What do you like?
I
what's
don't
the
think
claim
the
you're trying to make?
trans woman brain would be anywhere near that.
Yeah. What is the point now?
I hate to jump in because
point
the dude talking is way smarter than me, but I'm Cluck. Like, what's the claim you're trying to make?
That.
Yeah, well, yeah,
So
obviously.
I have heard.
Yeah, Steve, you're always well articulated for sure. Much
Appreciate that.
Yes. Steve.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta use the restroom.
Go ahead, Clark. Sorry.
So
I'm also
yeah,
like 3
I think
drinks
that
in,
John.
so
I
don't know if
think
that's
that John
helping or
Money's. I think that John Money's claim, the experiment, does prove that it's probably pretty impossible to take somebody who is of one gender and socialize them into being another. I think what it means to be one or the other gender has a lot of social reasonings behind it. A lot of those social reasonings can have a also biological backing. So, for example, a man is supposed to be a protector, probably because they tend to be bigger. So, if a transgender person feels this intense discomfort with their gender, I think that it's probably highly likely, and I've actually heard that this is the case, although I've never actually looked into it, so I'm not going to make a strong claim here. But I have heard that it is the case that their brains are actually wired, wired differently in a way that could make it impossible for us to socialize a trans person to be the gender in which they were born, and it's probably better to just allow them to fit into the social mold of the gender that they identify with, and hopefully that takes away some or a lot of the dysphoria.
Right.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I also kind of doubt that it's probably not that possible to socialize someone with gender dysphoria through psychotherapy or other means into, dropping or not being dysphoric over their gender anymore. But that's also true for like a lot of other mental and psychological illnesses. Like you're pretty much never going to socialize a schizophrenic person, into not having or holding irrational beliefs or becoming psychotic from time to time. But that doesn't mean that society at large has to sincerely believe that what the schizophrenic person believes is real. Like if someone believes that the moon is following them or that their shower curtains are ratting them out to the CIA, we don't have to believe that that's true in order to accept them as real human beings or whatever. Just like I don't think we have to believe that trans women really are actually women. I don't really think anybody really believes that. I really think most people are just pretending to believe that in order to go along with the social
It's really weird
program.
that we're like kind of made and coerced to go along. That should be your first signal. Something's not right.
I'm perfectly fine with allowing transgender people to transition with hormones and surgery.
Exactly.
I just do not want society at large to sincerely start to propagate the idea that trans women really are the same thing as women, or that they are women.
Right.
Like I just think that's a delusional concept.
Right, and it's very like straight out of 1984, the book. Like it's right out of that. And that's what leads me to believe that there are powers that are using people with gender dysphoria and what you want to call trans people. They're using those people as a means of like mass kind of indoctrination. But yeah.
Riddle, did you have something?
Oh, I did want to ask, but it was the time has passed. Actually, you know what? Yeah, Preston. Are you a psychologist or what are you?
No, I'm just I'm just a guy.
You
Yeah.
just read books. Oh, see,
Steve.
now that's even more sus.
I'm glad
You
you're
see,
around, buddy. Just so you know.
I'm just
Thank you.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm
Okay.
glad you're around.
No,
Have you been around a
it was
while,
very-
Preston?
No, I don't even have a channel. I just
I've seen
I'm just
you
on
around
Flux
before.
Discord.
You've been
so.
around.
Have I? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Other
I've seen you.
streams?
I've seen you be here before.
Maybe. I don't recall though.
I've seen you. You don't remember? But
Oh,
you
I
said
probably
that.
drunk
I
or something,
do.
huh?
Yeah, I do think I
Probably
remember
drunk.
you from. Yeah, I do think I remember you
You've
from
been there
a couple
before,
past
I know.
streams. Yeah, I do think I remember you from that. But either way, like, I'm glad you're here, and
Thanks.
yeah, you're
The
definitely
inputs-
a nice voice.
The input's good, and yeah, you're very well
Appreciate it.
articulate about it.
And Cluck
So
as
that's
well,
why-
by the way. I really like when Cluck shows up.
Yeah, I do.
It's
Cluck,
hard to
I
get
do
people from the opposite end to show up, and he always does. So
I respect you
props.
for that, Cluck. Honestly,
For
we
sure,
disagree,
me
but
too.
it's okay.
So, to respond to that, I think that there is a interesting conversation to be had when it comes to in which aspects of society do we accept trans people as women, and which aspects of society do we not?
we
I think
don't
that these
at
things-
all, or men.
Well,
Why do you
okay,
always?
well,
Say,
that's-
why does
that's your
everybody always
opinion.
do that? They kind of ignore the women going to men. They they focus on the men going to women. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, because
I think
they're the
it's
most
just
contentious.
more-
It's a
instinctive,
definitely
you
noticeable.
know.
It's a noticeable trait. That's for sure.
What is
Yeah,
that?
so-
What's up
So
with that?
they are the most because it's the most contentious group. It's a group that's always held up as like the boogeyman of the
The
trans
most
movement.
what group? What the most what group?
Contentious. It's a group that the people who are against trans people
Oh, okay.
have the most problems with.
Well, why is that? Why would you say that?
I
I don't know
have
that
a
that's the
problem with
truth. I don't know that that's the truth, but I'm just wondering why you think that would be then.
I think that
Because
question.
okay,
answers it.
so let's look at the examples of trans people that are held up as like problematic. Are they ever trans men?
Yes.
When?
You mean held up? Like what do you mean held up? Like in a
Like the
hostage
ones
situation?
that you guys were coming to this little chat.
Held up.
And
What do you mean
wait,
held
the
up?
ones that you guys were coming to this group chat, be like, hey,
Held
did you
up
hear
in
the trans
traffic?
person did this? Are they ever F2M trans men?
I missed that. I was reading something.
I honestly missed it too because
Yeah, say it again. Say it again,
Okay.
Cluck. I'm sorry.
Cluck.
So when y'all come into this chat,
I was reading chat. I'm
Hold on,
sorry
hold
when
on,
you said
hold
that.
on, hold on. This guy only joined to troll. This you gotta go.
okay.
Who?
So when you guys come into this,
No. Before you speak, I'm sorry. Only joined to troll keeps interrupting. Can you? Is this a
Done.
thing?
Done. I'm getting rid of him.
Dude, I said one thing.
Oh, okay.
I got rid of him.
Gone
Go
now.
ahead, Cluck.
All right, go ahead.
okay. So when y'all come into this voice chat and somebody brings up an example, oh, did you hear what this trans person did? This is so awful. Is it ever a trans man, like a female that wants to be a man, or is it always, or most likely, or very very most likely, a man that wants to be a woman?
It's most likely a man that wants to be a woman.
So that's why these things are always talked about. When that's why the trans men or trans women are the ones that are always talked about, because they're the ones that you guys have the problems with.
No, you know why? That's not
That's
right,
not necessarily
Cluck. I'll
true.
tell you. I'll tell you why
That's
right
only
now.
part of- that's
It's
part
because
of it,
it's the
not true.
men. It's because I gotta be honest. It's mostly white men. There are some black men too,
Yeah,
but it's
there's
mostly white men.
It really
like
is.
exerting. They're like fuck. They're like, it seems like they're like, I'm hated and I have no chance unless I do this, and then I gain ultimate power and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
And it works 98%
Right,
of the time.
They can fucking do whatever they want. They can
Okay,
say
so
whatever they
y'all's
want.
reasoning-
They can cancel
y'all's
whoever they
reasoning-
want.
So y'all's reasoning behind why y'all focus only on this demographic is still doesn't take away from the fact that that is the demographic y'all focus
Because
on.
I notice
And
what's
that's why
happening.
I'm always talking about them.
I'm just noticing what's happening. That's all I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a basic observation, honestly.
Okay.
Just anecdotally, all the trans men that I've known were always like super chill and just kind of like kept to themselves and stuff. But all the trans women I've ever known are fucking annoying narcissists.
Can I tell you guys a secret?
I
I'll tell
actually
you-
do agree with that. That's actually very true.
I'll unveil something here to you guys. I actually
trans?
have No, I'm not far off, but yeah. So the guy that mentored me growing up, got me into computers, got me into everything that. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing to this day is trans. He's a trans woman now, and and he was like this big heroic firefighter. We have my family. We're all like firefighters and cops and military, and he was a big firefighter here in Columbus, Ohio, and he became trans. He just decided one day that he just wanted to become a woman, and he's been very successful, but we don't get along anymore. Literally, like I asked him a couple questions, and he deaded me forever. Like I don't exist.
Did you ask? Because you're not allowed to question anything.
No. And check this out. So he is. There's been news articles written about him here because he's like a big activist here in Ohio, and they characterize him as a civil rights activist. And I'll tell you right now, like I told you, I've been a left winger growing up. I was always like a left winger, right? And growing up as a kid in my left wing views, I was good friends with my uncle, and he was into computers and I was into that. But like when it came to like my music choices and stuff like that, he always had a lot of stuff to say. Like I was into rap, and he was always like, N-word this, N-word that. And I'm like, oh, but now you're a civil rights leader. That's interesting. I'm like, you used to give me so much crap about the music I listened to and the movies I watched, but now you're a civil rights activist. Sure. But yeah, I always thought that was interesting.
Wow, wonderful story.
Well, my point was that he used to shame me for being into black culture. And now I'm like, he used to be like, you like N-words? You like N-word music? They're idiots. And now he's trans, and now he's a civil rights leader. It's like, what happened?
What happened? Why?
Guy who's trans now. Okay.
Why? What happened there? What happened there?
I have no idea. The guy's fucked up apparently, but he's the guy that got me into computers and all that stuff when I was a kid.
I mean, well, here's the thing: does he take medication?
I don't know. It just one day
is he on prescription medication?
I know nothing about it. All I know is one day he decided he wanted to be a woman. He divorced his wife, F his kids, I guess. Whatever. He's married to a guy right now, I think. Actually,
oh my god,
that's despicable. Honestly,
he's an activist. He's a firefighter. He's a high-ranking firefighter here in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
I don't give a shit.
And he's a big activist. But I'm telling you, when I was a kid and I hung out with him, he used to berate me as being an N-word lover and stuff like that. Because I was into rap, I was into that's just when I was a kid. I was like that. I was what you might call a wigger, right? That was what I was then. I was
whatever
really into gangster rap and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So so you're trying to have cultural appreciation, but now it's called cultural appropriation.
Right.
So
this guy that used to berate me for being into black people because he said that they were idiots, and I remember he used to make fun of me, and he was like, the music they listen to is like kid music. He'd be like, and he would do that kind of thing,
It tends to be these leftist activists, these crazy people, even trans included nowadays. Anyways, not all of them. But they always tend to be the most hypocritical and the most hateful.
Yeah.
For whatever reason that's going on in their lives.
And they project like crazy. They have no self-awareness and they project.
It is. It's just insane. It's kind of sad.
They're crazy. This is what literally has motivated me from when I was first got into politics. I identified this early on. And I'm like, these people are dangerous. I'm going to dedicate my life to pointing out what these people are doing. Hopefully people will see it and we can deal with it. That's been my whole thing from the beginning. It's like we can identify the issue, we can zero in on it, we can all get together, but it's it's harder than we thought it would be. Because
so as I was saying before, there's to Steve Preston. Mm-hmm. There's an interesting conversation to be had about which aspects of society we should accept trans women as women. I think that it needs to be a cost-benefit analysis to any of those types of situations.
Here's a good question. In what parts or realms of society do you think we should not accept trans women as women?
Probably anything that their physical stature would give them an advantage of. So like
It's an easy
sports, for
question.
example, would
Okay, so
probably
you're against trans women in sports.
Yeah, for the most part, I don't know
Okay.
about like elementary school
Interesting.
sports, middle school sports, and maybe even high school sports. You
None
probably
of it.
could
It shouldn't be any of it.
allow lacrosse because those sports are from what I understand, generally they are more of a social exercise and less of a thing that's going to be
Well,
like a career.
I could see the argument for that in like middle school sports, but with high school sports, you're really looking at like, you know, high school kids who are athletic are trying to get into college, and the college scouts are going around
that's
trying.
probably true.
Yeah, so
I also disagree with the honestly, the middle school. I disagree with that. Honestly, I disagree with it as a whole.
Well, I mean, I would expect you to.
Yeah,
but
there's a reason you expect that, but there's a reason behind it.
what's the reason?
Because the growth hormone levels are different between
in elementary
male and
school,
female. It's just yes, included.
girls are usually bigger than guys in elementary school.
They're usually
I don't know if it really matters
they're
too
taller.
much until
That doesn't mean they're stronger.
Okay.
It's about hormones and estrogen and bone density and yada yada yada. I'm not a
Yeah,
massive
but like
biologist, but it's pretty
elementary
basic.
school kids aren't going around beating each other up in sports. Like,
Can I ask you this question real quick? Let me get back into the channel here. Cluck, what do you think about KJP? You know, Karen Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary. She was asked by a reporter, I think from New York Post, I'm not sure, about parents that were concerned about their daughters competing in competitive contact sports with biological boys. And she said that asking that question was dangerous and a threat to children who are trans. What do you think about that?
This is a threat to our democracy.
but what contact sports are women playing in that's like just a women's sport? Like they have a separate women's section.
No, these are we're talking about all of them. There's all separate. Basketball, football,
the only contact
baseball.
sport I know of in
hockey.
school is football, and usually those are just men's, and women
Right.
will go on to the men's too.
Well, no. Also, no. There's wrestling. There's basketball. There's baseball.
Which is usually a men's thing that women will go on to if they want to wrestle.
Right, but
basketball's not a contact sport.
Do what now? Baseball is a contact sport. Have you ever played baseball?
Baseball's not a contact sport.
Have you ever played baseball, motherfucker?
I
It's
have.
Contact.
No.
Did you play second base, third base, first base, catcher?
My God.
So here we go.
Okay, so the heart of the question.
You don't think a big boy can plow over a first base girl or second base girl, or third base girl, catcher girl?
Yeah, easily. He steals bases. He runs faster. Fucking throws harder. Fucking throws quicker.
Should women who are bigger than like their classmates
If
not be
they're
allowed
women,
to play baseball?
they're women.
Chess debate. Okay, yeah.
These are going to be like 1 in a million women that are that big.
So are trans. How many trans kids do you think is playing sports?
More and more. It's increasing all the time.
It's true. It is.
It's
more.
increasing.
I'm
it's
sure there's
it's
more than there was in the
exploding.
past, but if you're going to use the 1 in a million, there's less trans women.
Dude,
than
you got to
that
address the increasing amount that's happening. Why is it always? Let me ask you this as well. It's only boys playing girls sports, not girls playing boys sports. Can you explain that?
Girls playing boy sports. Girls play.
There's
boy
no
sports all the
girls.
time.
There's no girls pretending to be boys playing boy sports. It's only the other way around.
Usually when a woman wants to play a boy sport, they could just be on the boys' team.
No, I agree. Basketball can be a contact sport. So it's like okay. So here's this. What's the definition of contact sport in your eyes?
Look, look at the biggest women's basketball player there is. It's a guy. What's the one that was in Russia?
Who just got rescued, Brittany
Right.
Griner.
What's her face? Griner? Yeah, that's a guy.
Yeah, pretty much. It is a guy, actually.
Is that
true?
It's
a guy. Yeah, it's a man. She's a man.
So a contact sport.
You ever heard her speak?
Is that confirmed? I don't know.
Yeah, she's a man.
Dude,
she has no
look,
tits.
Listen.
There's
to
picture.
her.
Have you seen a picture of her with
speak?
There's
so
picture of her with her shirt off.
Are y'all calling
It's
this
clearly
person
a man.
who hasn't been proven to be trans a trans person?
No, they are. There's pictures of Griner with no shirt on. It's a man. As if it wasn't obvious anyway. But yeah.
What? You can tell How about the shirt? Just the shirt being off?
We should probably ask the Russian. Oh shit! Oh fuck!
Let's
Oh
ask
my
the
god!
Yeah, it's a
Let's
dude.
ask the Russian.
You didn't know that? This has been
Let's
long
ask the
known.
Russian.
This has
I
been
just
long
lost
known. You didn't know
7
that?
diamonds in Minecraft because I died.
Dude, it's a guy.
Sucks.
Yeah, she is not a she. She is a man.
Wait, you just
Yeah,
lost
you
your
guys are-
diamonds?
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm sorry, dude.
Anybody play StarCraft, by the way?
they're
Anybody
coming.
play
really not
StarCraft or Fortnite?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
We're playing Minecraft.
I'm always looking for teammates. I'm playing ranked.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, girls who want to play guy sports, they usually just go onto the guys' team. It's usually not a problem. The reason why we always talk about the other way around is because that's where y'all have the contention for. And as for what is my definition of a contact sport, my definition of a contact sport is a sport in which hard contact is expected inside the sport. Yes, in basketball you could run over somebody. That is a thing that can happen. Usually it's not supposed to happen, so it isn't considered a contact sport. Same with baseball. It's just not like a thing that's built into the game the same way it is with like football or
So
maybe
then you prove yourself
hockey.
Incorrect. You prove yourself incorrect.
What do you mean?
Because you just said prior that it wasn't a contact sport.
Because running somebody over isn't built into baseball. Like it's not a thing that's supposed to happen.
Okay, so that's a lot like saying that a woman that can't have pregnancy is not a woman, because that's supposed to what she has.
How? Okay.
Is that too much of a leap for you?
Yeah, the analogy just you're gonna have to explain the analogy. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, you said that it was a contact sport, right? But you didn't know that it was a contact sport.
Wait, no, I didn't say that baseball was a contact sport or basketball.
Yeah, you said that it.
Have you
You
ever
said that
baseball?
it was not a contact sport.
Bro, can you give me some wood?
Yeah, hold on. Well, actually, I don't have any wood. I can give you an axe.
So you guys are playing
Yeah, give
fucking
me an axe.
Minecraft together?
Yeah. I'm playing on his server.
What
Well, it's
are you
not my
playing?
server, but
Oh god.
What are you guys playing?
Minecraft.
Apparently playing Minecraft. Together.
Minecraft? Really?
Yeah.
My daughter plays that.
it's a great game.
Let's play Fortnite. That's a way more
I've
masculine
been
game.
playing since I was in middle
Wait.
school.
Fucking Steve Preston playing Minecraft. Okay. That's. But
Do
still.
you guys see where I stopped this video
Anyway.
on Biden?
Mm.
Biden meeting
Yeah,
this girl.
Is grabbing
Groping
that.
I grabbed them.
Groping
titties,
that
too.
So besides sports,
Why not?
are there any
do a little
other
rope.
sections of society where you don't think trans women should be treated as women?
Prisons.
Trans women are not. That's just men. I hate saying that. I feel like I'm in an Orwell nightmare.
Well, I'm saying
free
for
trans
expediency.
women.
Can you let me answer
Trans
this question?
women. There's no trans women.
Let
him answer the
trans women
question.
should not be in women's prisons.
Okay.
No, because they're men. Let's stop
But I'm
playing this
okay with-
LARPing shit.
I'm okay with post-op.
I feel like we're all getting sucked into like a insane delusion. Like we need to fight it. No, we will not go into the night.
It's simple. It's simple.
It's a speech from Independence Day.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay with post-op trend.
We will not go quietly into the night. I gotta look it up. I'm gonna just.
Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh.
do it.
Oh, that's hilarious, actually. All right.
Did
I'm
you hear
sorry,
me, Steve?
Click, go ahead.
I said that I am okay with post-op trans women going to women prisons.
Post-op.
Uh,
What happens if they
no,
stop taking
that's
hormones?
then
Would they go
I
back
what
to,
the.
Well,
No, I don't agree with that
okay,
at all.
so a post-op trans woman is going to have an extremely high risk of being raped in a man's prison, because they have a vagina. Like you guys may not think of it as a vagina, but people who have been in
Vagina.
prison for 20
Yeah,
years.
but he could.
Oh,
But
yeah,
he'll
that's a
still
good
beat
point,
her
actually.
ass. He'll
You
still
all
beat her
have
up.
to. You all have to come to terms
He'll
with the
still
idea
beat
of
her
the
up.
vagina that
you
the
talking
people in
about?
prison have.
There are many okay, listen. There are many women in the prison that are incredibly big and can beat up any other woman in that prison. So I don't think that we should send them to men's prisons just because they can beat up a woman.
Maybe we should send them in prison according to your rule of law. We
Well,
should probably
no, the
send
reason
those
why
women that
the reason
beat
why
up
I'm
men
not
to men's prisons.
Girl,
It's only fair,
drink.
right?
okay, the reason
drunk.
why I am okay with post-op trans women go into women's prisons, but not pre-op, is because of the existence of a penis. If somebody has a penis and they go into
a penis.
If they go into a women's prison, then they have an extra instrument in which they can use to violate a woman sexually. And it could be even extra traumatizing in a way because of the nature of using a penis to rape a woman.
I don't think that the presence of a penis, as you say,
the
is
penis rapes the woman, not the person.
Why women get raped by men? I think it has more to do with the strength component.
Well, no. So I'm not saying that the penis is the reason why women get raped by men. I'm saying that
it's the penis. It became self-aware.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The presence of a penis gives
we have to get rid of penises. We have to ban them. That's the problem.
Ban assault penises.
What even is this anymore?
Wait,
we can,
yes.
We can continue this like in my
what magazines? How many magazines can you put in that penis?
Don't go. I'm having so much fun here.
Where are you going?
I'd be
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, if
am I ruining it?
If you have something legit, like serious to say, Rebel, you can go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll shut the fuck up. No
more
about
I'm not trying to troll you. I'm not trying to troll you or anything. I'm really not. I'm just trying to. I highly disagree with you. But I also think that just because they had their post-op doesn't mean that they should be allowed in women's prisons because of an obvious, like what your friend said, Steve Preston, that there's an obvious physical difference. Because in prison, you're kind of cliquey, right? So you fight people, and guess what's going to happen? This guy's going to beat everybody up because he has a physical, natural.
Or he'll just eat the pussies of all the women and dominate them that way.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, so I don't think
I mean, look, I don't know about that, but you know what I'm saying? It's like
he'll dominate them one way or the other.
A trans woman is
exactly.
Your trans woman is going to generally have a bigger physique than your average woman in prison. But if you're going to separate people based on the, because of they went through a male puberty, most likely. So, but if you're going to separate,
because they're male.
Okay, so if you're going to separate people based around that, there's a lot of cis women that would need to go to males' prisons, and they are going to be extra susceptible to rape, even though they are bigger than most women.
What's happening? I don't even know. What are we talking about?
I'm sorry. I feel like that was so silly that I have to hear that again.
We're just we're all gonna live in an insane mental delusion. I don't know what are we going towards? What's happening?
Dronetek, please stop. If your reasoning behind not wanting to have post-op trans women in women's prisons is because they are generally bigger than your average woman and they can just beat everyone up, I am here to tell you that there are a lot of women that are bigger than me, who is a 200, almost 200-pound, 5'11" man.
No offense.
Okay, but I could beat up most of the women there. But there's a lot of women there that could also beat me up easily because they're just so big.
So you said you could beat up most of the women, even though you're smaller than all of them, pretty much.
No, I'm not smaller than all of them. I'm bigger.
But there's some women. You're bigger than them? I thought you said
I'm bigger than most of the women there. But there are some women, and it's not an insignificant amount of women that are a lot bigger than
you up.
They could probably kick my ass because they're huge. So should we take those huge prisoners and put them in a male's facility because they can kick the ass of every woman there?
According to your logic.
No, according to your logic. This is your logic.
Have them identify as men, and then yes. Oh, my logic says that women and men should be separated. That's my logic.
Yeah, but
it's
the reason
simple.
why you don't the reason why you don't want the trans women to be in women's prisons even after surgery is because they are bigger and can beat them up.
Well, that's not a woman. When you have if it's post-op or not.
So it's okay to have somebody bigger than the other women that can beat other women up as long as they are also born a woman?
I'm sorry, say it again?
So it's okay if we have women who are bigger than most of the women and can just kick the ass of most of the women there as long as they were born a woman?
Well, yeah, that's the natural course.
Okay. So your concern isn't of the well-being of the prisoners.
That's prison. That's
Okay.
that's prison.
So what I'm saying is,
So now you're changing the entire argument. That's the entire argument. No, my argument was you don't have males that have a natural advantage going over to a female's environment and just completely dominating because they're natural born male. How hard is that to understand?
my concern is the well-being of the prisoners, and generally speaking,
okay. So now it's changing though.
How?
You're changing the argument
How?
by making it about the prisoners, not about male and female and transgender, as opposed to this or that.
I would assume that most arguments that we have around these types of things, we're thinking about the well-being of people in society. In this case, we're talking about prison and prisoners, so we would be talking about the well-being of prisoners. I just thought that was a given.
No, it's not a given. We were talking about something specifically.
Oh, well, I apologize. I don't
given.
have like a specific tie to the concepts of male and female to where I am going to abide by those categories at all costs, even at the detriment of people in society.
Right. So you're topic fluid. Got it. Understandable.
Okay. Anyways,
Gotcha.
Steve,
Topic
as
fluid.
I was saying, I am okay with post-op trans women going to women's facilities because they don't have a penis. I don't think the existence of a penis makes somebody more likely to rape someone. I just think that the existence of a penis can make rape different than if they don't have a penis in a negative way. Like the experience of rape when somebody's on top of you and shoving a part of them inside of you is different than the experience of rape when it's like a female on female rape.
Are you speaking from personal experience?
I'm speaking because I work in a prison.
I'm joking around.
Like,
you work in a prison?
I do. A female prison. I work in a female prison.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I
Wow.
can see where you're coming from there. So I mean,
And also, wait, can I just add one more thing? And I
Sure.
think that the danger presented to a trans woman is incredibly high in most male facilities. Therefore, it's probably worth shipping that person to a woman's facility to keep them safe. Most likely, they aren't going to contrary to
that's the
popular
point.
belief. Most prisoners aren't just out to hurt other people. So most likely, they aren't going to be out to just hurt and dominate these women. And most likely, they're not going to rape these women. They're just going to be happy that they're in a safer environment.
Wait. So you think that
Are you
trans women
admitting
should
that that's
be
why they're
treated
doing it?
should be treated as women in prison?
If they're post-op, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean? Post-op.
It means that they don't
they-
have a
It means
they
cutting
don't
off
have
your
a
dick.
they don't have a penis. They have a vagina now.
There's
Not
no.
a real
They do
vagina,
not
no.
have a
It isn't-
vagina.
Is it?
Okay.
Why
well,
would
they-
you
they
say
don't have-
that? Are you living in a
Die again.
fantasy land? There's
Okay.
not. They don't.
Yeah.
have,
it's
can men
indulging in
magically
a
have?
fantasy land.
Hold on, no.
Sucks.
Cluck. Can men have a vagina?
Suck at this
With
game.
surgery, yes.
No.
Is it?
Stop
well,
it.
let me ask: Is it the same thing? I mean, is it real?
Why do we even
Well,
have to ask this?
it-
Why do I
is
have
it
to?
something
Why do I
you're
have to?
born
Why do
with?
I have to
I'm just seeing
interact
what
with
he
a
said.
person who's living in a fantasy world? Cluck. That's not a vagina.
Okay.
Okay. Would you fuck it?
Probably not.
Would you?
Probably not.
Why not?
Probably not. Yeah, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
'Cause that's gross.
Obviously not. Of course you
Because-
wouldn't, because it's grotesque.
Because that's fucking
Well, I want to see
awful.
what he says. Why not?
Well, no, actually, the
If you
idea
if you
that
think it's just the right, if you think it's the same thing as a normal vagina, why wouldn't you?
the idea that it is pieces of a penis still
Right.
turns me off.
Because it's not real,
okay.
but because the whole
It's a
thing is
search-
it's a
it's a-
demonic. Look, I'm not Christian, I'm not religious, but the whole thing is fucking like straight up demonic. Like, what's a fucking movie with the?
You don't have to be
Cenobites?
religious. No, it's wrong, dude.
It's like Cenobites, right? It's like it's
Wait, I thought you
fucking
guys were
weird.
okay with. Wait, I thought you guys were okay with adults transitioning.
Adults can do whatever the fuck they want.
Okay, but
Yeah,
you're
I
over
don't care.
here like
Yeah, my
criticizing
No,
right,
no,
my
demonic
no, no.
and
hey,
we're talking about it
Hold on.
Going to
Cluck,
other
I'm a
people,
straight
invading other
heterosexual
women's
man.
space.
I like pussy, and I will say the same thing about men's sex.
yeah?
It's fucking off. It's disgusting to me. I don't want it, the very visualization of it is fucking horrifying. I want nothing to do with it. What do you think about that? Is that wrong?
What, that you don't like visualizing man sex?
Right.
No, but you're not
Okay
calling
then.
it
Okay
but
then.
wait, you're not over here calling it demonic. And,
It's demonic and gross, and I fucking hate it. All the same
wrong.
things.
Yeah, like.
Is it?
Well, when you push it,
Isn't that what makes people gay or straight?
Whether or not they have sex with the same sex, yes.
Right. They like one thing and they don't like the other.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with me not liking that?
Not liking gay sex?
Right. It's fucking horrifying and demonic to me.
Wait, you can not like something and then not call it, but still not think it's demonic.
Okay. Okay, well, do you feel the same way about throwing around like the term like white supremacist and racist? Do you feel the same way about that?
Oh, yes. Actually, earlier in the conversation, I think Steve may be able to attest to this. I was talking about
all right. Well, I won't call gay sex demonic. It's not demonic, honestly. I don't think it is. But I find it gross as fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't want to even think about it.
So
yeah,
I wouldn't have sex with a trans person because I don't like the idea that I would be having sex with surgically altered.
Even like threesomes. Threesomes are like if it's like two girls is good, but like two dudes, I'm like.
What was that, Steve?
Why don't you like that idea? I'm just trying.
The idea of putting my penis in there. I don't know. It's like asking me why don't I like any other thing that I'm not sexually attracted to.
Right. Okay.
I think we need to focus more on like what heteros like. I'm fucking sick of focusing on gay shit.
Yeah.
Like let's focus on like heteros one for like I'm 44 years old and I feel like for most of my life it's been like nothing but like gay shit thrown in our faces.
Well, I mean, to be honest, outside of like conversations, it's like asking me why don't I don't ever like talking about gay shit, quote unquote, is not a thing that happens day to day.
I feel like it's nonstop. It's like how can you escape
sure,
it?
You're a conservative. I would expect that.
Nope. I'm
well,
not really conservative.
Can I
you really
say-
think I'm a conservative? I smoke weed on camera, talk about fucking and like all this stuff. You think I'm a conservative?
Yes.
I smoke weed, but I don't have a camera.
Oh yeah, conservatives are known for smoking weed on camera.
My uncle was a conservative. He grew weed. Like, I don't think smoking weed makes you not conservative. I think that it's pretty.
I'm not conservative. I'm not conservative. So
Okay.
stop calling me that. I don't have anything against conservatives, but I'm never considered myself that.
Wait, so am I not progressive because I wouldn't have sex with a trans person?
No, you're just communist.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
what?
I was just joking. Yeah, I wasn't serious.
I think this is a joke at this point. This is just
So, did you guys?
Like,
you probably already talked
any
about the
other
Trump
thing that
indictment, right?
Say that again.
You probably already talked about the
I think
Trump
we need to
indictment,
focus
right?
more on like what heteros like. I'm fucking
We
sick
did
of
actually,
focusing on gay
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's focus on like
What's your
heteros one.
like
I'm 44
2-sentence
years
summary?
old and I feel like for most
fake news. Too
All right.
worried about that.
There we go.
fake news. All right, I think I'm gonna
Here we-
go ahead and
here-
wrap
here
up
we go
the.
again.
Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream. As far as the stream goes, we can keep chatting here in chat, but
Well, do you think that the videotape of him saying, "Yeah, I should have had these classified, but I didn't,"
well,
was fake?
no. Well, here's the thing. There
You think
are
that they
a
made
lot.
that
Hold on. Do you think that? Okay, so here's my thing on that. I do like on the surface, the way the media and the Democrats portray it, it looks bad. But I think that Trump probably did not look at it that way. He was not saying it that way, and it's being misrepresented purposely. The people who are doing it know what they're doing. And I think Trump makes a lot of his own problems, honestly. I think he does. But at the same time, I think his enemies take advantage of those problems in ways they would not if he were, a Democrat or a Republican who's going with the program. Yeah, I'm not a hardcore Trumpist or anything like that. I think Trump has made a lot of dumb mistakes that he brings on himself, and this is one of them. And I think we'll see how it unfolds, but I think ultimately, I do think ultimately that it is being done in a way that would never be done with any other former president. It would never be done, but they're doing it now, and they're telling themselves they're doing it for some justifiable reason, which is not actually justifiable, and it is evil, and it is tyrannical, and they are going to destroy the country by doing it.
Okay, so
I'll be surprised we don't end up in civil war over this, to be honest.
I'm sorry, Clark, what's up?
I want to know which part is fake.
Which part of what?
Oh, it's been a witch hunt since day one, and I'm
sorry. Why?
Trump terms? Right?
I'll tell you what part is fake. I'll tell you what part. Joe Biden was holding classified documents for decades in his garage.
Yeah.
So where's the raid? Where's the concern? Where's the charges? Hillary Clinton had.
It's not.
Hold on. Hillary Clinton had fucking classified documents on a private server. She then wiped the servers, wiped her phones that were subpoenaed, and there's no intent. So she gets off. Now Trump gets charged. How are we supposed to look at this and not go to civil war?
So what you're saying, just let me try to understand this. What you're saying is
me or him?
Either one of you. I mean, he was the one that summoned. Did you want to add something to that, Riddle, before I go off?
Oh yeah, I suppose there was just 37 counts of that, right? Another one. They've indicted him before. It's not the first time it's happened.
Right, yeah.
Completely acquitted before. It's he has actual proof that that he's actually been secure about it. I mean, it's just true.
Yeah, and I want to throw out there. I want to throw out there.
And I can't wait for this. And I can't wait for this trial. It's gonna be great. I love it.
It's gonna be fucking gangbusters, Riddle.
So Riddle, you don't.
Hold on, Cluck. Hold on. And I just want to throw out there that all the cases they were talking about all throughout the Trump presidency, all these cases they were talking about that were gonna sting Trump, they all went nowhere. I just want to say that.
Okay, Riddle, you don't think that he had classified documents that he wasn't supposed to have?
What does that mean?
It's presidential class. What are you talking about?
Right. Do you think Obama has documents he's not supposed to have?
What'd you say, Riddle?
I said no. What are you talking about? That it's all presidential.
But he wasn't the president when he had those documents.
No, these documents were under his presidency. That's what it was. So he has legal right to have them.
No, so there is a process that he's supposed to go through.
And he went through the processes.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That's why the archives asked for them back.
Records Act. The Presidential Records Act.
Why did the archives ask for it back?
The Presidential Records Act. What are you talking about, Cluck?
What
the fuck are you talking about? Seriously, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you know the Presidential Records Act?
Yeah, the president. Yeah, that act says that he's supposed to return all classified documents to the archives. Yes, it does.
You're supposed to return it. You're supposed to keep in contact with it. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Do you really think that Obama isn't fucking flush in classified documents as we speak?
He's the one that enabled a lot of the downfall of the U.S. Dan, why?
Clark, this is our issue. We're not against the rule of law or any of these things, but you got to admit, like, this is something I've been tracking for over 20 years.
Funny,
there is a definite slanted application of justice and media coverage when it comes to this stuff. Over and over and over and over again. Like, are we supposed to just keep taking this? Or at some point, are we supposed to fight back? Because I think that point is coming.
You got to unmute, liberal cock.
Unmute.
Yeah, I'll mute you.
Did I? Oh, yeah. Okay, so one of the things that the Presidential Records Act does is it establishes the presidential records automatically transferred into the legal custody of the archivist as soon as the president leaves office.
What? Where's that from? Wikipedia?
Presidential Records Act. Here, I can link it.
Hold on. God damn it! I know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
I should have.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold
on. I know. Hold on. I got it.
Yeah.
1 second.
Are we getting into the nitty gritty here? That's fine. Let's go.
I don't want to, but apparently you're gonna have to.
Neither do I, but he wants to. So let's do this. Let's do this then. Are you smoking on? You fucking asshole. I'm kind of jealous, actually. I'm kind of jealous.
Here's the thing: is like Trump could be totally guilty of something here, right?
Could be, but it doesn't sound like it.
Here's the thing, though. Is like, are we really supposed to here believe that like past presidents have been guilty of these sorts of things? Of course, but they let them. There's like a code. There's a code that's going on with them. And they just decided that King Ralph here is not going to be subjected to those same fucking standards. That's what it is.
I want you to read my source and tell me that the president wasn't supposed to turn over those records to the archive.
Do what now? Say it again.
I want y'all to read my source and tell me that the president wasn't supposed to return.
Where's the link?
Where's
the link?
You posted a source? Oh.
Yes.
All right, I got it.
Okay, here we go.
Archives.gov.
How the fuck did I die?
Public ownership, personal. Man, I don't want to go
Probably
to
by
all this
posting
shit.
in
Oh
the
wait, it's
National
not that
Archives.
much. Hold on. Establishes public ownership of all presidential records and defines the term. Okay, so public ownership means anybody's got the right to it. Requires that vice presidential records be treated the same way as presidential records. Okay. I think these all should be public anyway.
Amended it. It's interesting. Specifically the PRA.
I'll put these on here. Channel.
Zombie killed me. What was that?
Establishes a process which the president may restrict and the public may obtain access to these records after the president leaves office.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like what this shows is that what this does basically, the Presidential Records Act, is make presidential records which the president deems so as public record, which anybody from the public can request through the public Freedom
of Information Act.
Yeah, that.
So, are you trying to tell me right now that? Wait. Are you trying to tell me?
I'm drunk. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fucking drunk.
Are you trying to tell me right now that the Presidential Records Act allows anyone from the public to have access to top secret information?
I think Cluck might be the only sober one here.
Yeah, I'm
pretty drunk. Maybe so, but he's not the correct one.
Thursday is my drunk night.
Well, hold on, Dronetek.
What?
Are you
establishes the process? So it says here. Let me try to finish his sentence. Okay. Establishes a process by which the president may restrict and the public may obtain access to these records after the president leaves office. But it says by which the president may restrict and the public may obtain. So the wording here is a little bit dodgy. So I want you to explain that to me.
Wait, what is your claim around these things?
What are you saying?
My claim is that this is bullshit. That it's just like generalized bullshit that was enacted under Obama. Considering it just said up here,
it's all meant to be. It's all meant to be manipulated.
The PRA was amended in 2014, 2 years before Trump came into office. So, what do you expect?
Do you think they amended it because they knew Trump would be doing this bullshit and that they would be like,
"Oh,
gotcha,
absolutely,
we got him, yeah,
absolutely."
Oh my god!
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Crazy people. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm crazy.
No, so the part that
crazy,
you're reading doesn't even have anything to do with why Trump is in trouble.
I'm so lost at what even the point
I believe
is.
you. I really do. I believe that you are.
I am out of it. Let's play.
Yeah. Well. All right.
You guys want to play a game?
Well, I am done for the night. Y'all.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well,
it was fun as always. Y'all have a good night.
Okay. We'll see you later.
Later.
I think I'm gonna dip as well.
Yeah,
nice
that's
meeting
it,
you all.
guys.
All right, nice to meet you.
I gotta
sir.
tell you, I gotta tell you, I have been at it all day. I'm done too. Thank you for showing up, guys. Everybody, I really appreciate it. I'm ready to crash. Gonna end it here. We'll keep doing this every Thursday. We'll get better every Thursday. Next
I would love
Thursday,
to.
yeah, we're gonna be doing this every Thursday. Next Thursday, we're gonna be bringing on Noble Gold CEO is gonna be coming on here. We're gonna talk to him.
Who?
We're gonna, yeah, he's gonna come on here and hang out with us. So that should be
Nibble
cool.
Gold?
Noble Gold.
Noble.
Really? The CEO. Yeah, he's gonna come hang out with us. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it should be cool. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to him a little bit, and he's gonna hang out with us. Yeah. Should be cool.
You sure you're not being trolled?
I'm not being trolled.
Okay. All right.
He's a sponsor. He's been sponsoring.
That's
he's been sponsoring our channel for like 3 years now. So.
All right. You have a point. All right.
He's a good guy. I know him. I'm good friends with him. So. Well, not good friends, but I know him.
Oh, I was gonna say good friends.
Yeah, I'm not good friends. I'm friends with him online. You know what I mean? You know what that is. Yeah. So anyway,
I should probably. Speaking of which, should take my camera off. It's good to see you though.
Yeah, it's good seeing you too, Riddle. Hey, Riddle. Hey, Riddle, buddy. What are you going on camera?
Oh, because you want me to see my.
Yeah, man. It's good seeing you for once. I'm glad to place a face. I'm glad to place a face with a voice.
Yeah.
You look normal. Like I thought.
I look terrible, honestly. I hate this fucking shit. That's why I don't like going on camera. But yeah, it was good to talk. I mean, you said
it looked fine, man.
You said that we'd be cowards if we didn't put the camera on. So I was like,
yeah, we have to put our faces out there, man.
Yeah.
Don't be a puss.
Hey, fair enough. Well, it's out there now. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. Hey, buddy. I appreciate you coming on and seeing you finally. I've known you for a while now, so
yeah,
it's good to finally put a face with the name. So,
well, it's unfortunate that.
And I'm just gonna feed it on into the terrorist watch list. No, I'm just.
Yeah, thanks a lot, dude. Even more watched now more than ever. Even though I'm already on it. So.
That's cool. Hey, if you want to stick around and play some games, I'm gonna play. I'm staying on. Anyway, all right. I'm ending the stream. Good night.
Okay, yeah, end the stream. Bye.
Did I already stream? Did I already end it? I don't even know.